All
Is
right.
that
Well,
brand
I'll
new?
go ahead
That
and.
looks so
Just
new.
got it yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
So these things are only $549.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
But
That's actually not that bad.
No, not at all. It's got the exact pick guard shape. It's
Ah.
5-ply. It has the cool little deal.
Yep.
The neck
Cool deal.
binding.
The cool deal.
Yeah.
It's got the cool deal. They went 60s Kalamazoo headstock. No longer the weird big penis on the end like they used to have.
That's right.
So that made a big
That's
difference. And
sick.
it's just
When are you
nicer.
gonna replace the pickups with Gibson pickups?
I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I have to play it for a while first because these are Alnico 2 Pros or something. Oh, yeah, Alnico Classic Pros. And I watched a bunch of videos because the first thing I think, like, well, inexpensive guitar, I'm going to put Gibson pickups in it. And
Right.
I watched a video where the dude, and I would put 57 Classics in it because that's what you put in a 335 or a Birchbacher, but I don't like the Birchbachers. They're too hot. But anyways, I watched a video guy where a guy does that. He puts in 57 Classics next to his Alnico Pro Classic Pros, and the difference is so minimal. It's like, is it worth $300?
Yeah. All the time.
I gotta play it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll decide. But it has CTS pots in it, which are good pots.
Nice, man. That's
Yes,
awesome.
they really, as Gibson's going down like this in quality, but still charging you
a buttload,
$3,000 fucking dollars for the same.
Yeah.
Epiphone, even though they're owned by Gibson, has stepped up their game. So it's
Wow.
really nice. Plays well, holds tune.
Is it did you buy it used or is it brand new?
No, it's brand new.
Okay, yeah.
I went to
it looks like brand new.
It is brand spanking. And it's
Yeah,
way
that's
nicer
awesome.
than the Dots have ever been.
Huh.
Even the Dot, so they have the 335 Pro sitting there. The Dot 335 Pro, as nice as that is, it's still not as nice as this one. So I hemmed and hawed. I thought, do I really want to lay down? And the answer is no.
No.
Spend $3,000 on a goddamn guitar. Just not worth it. Unless I was, gigging or something. If I was in a
yeah,
one of them rock and roll
Like
bands,
recording
if I was in a
musician where
skiffle, pre-Beatles
skiffle.
maybe.
Okay, well, we're live, so
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Oh, we are?
yeah. So
Speaking
you got
of
that.
Skiffle.
Yeah, exactly.
Post in the cord, bro.
I know. I always forget. I have so much I need to do. Like every time we do
Come
this.
on.
Hold on. I got it. All right. Hold on. I got it.
Oh my god.
Hold
I got those
on.
2 links 30 minutes apart from each other.
No, you know what's difficult is putting it in my bio on Instagram because everyone cares about that. So I have to go to it on the app on my phone, and then I have to go to the Instagram app on my phone. It's a lot of work. Okay.
Yeah, Ben, you don't know, Ben. You don't know.
Yeah, and you're not a
You don't know things.
yeah, you're not cool. Okay, man.
I've never,
All right.
I've
You
never
don't know
seen
anything about Instagram, I bet.
Yeah, you don't even. I bet you don't even have a phone. Yeah.
You know what? You got me. I only accept carrier pigeon.
Is that why you haven't been texting me back?
Oh, I'm the one who doesn't text you back. That's
Well,
what
it-
got me.
I text you.
It's still a phone. It's just carried by a carrier pigeon.
It's true.
Delivered.
Ben and I we bought a
have
phone.
a
We split the
single
difference
phone?
and we send it back
Pigeon
and
phone.
forth. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
In a
it's a
note.
shared phone. It's a shared
Yeah.
12 Pro Max, so the pigeon's really struggling,
hmm
right?
Well,
Yeah.
don't worry. The pigeon is an ES35.
Yeah. It's not a
can
matter
handle
of
the
where it
extra
grips it, though. It's a matter of weight ratios.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
So
Well, I mean, it's no swallow, but it does the trick.
see, if you're using an African swallow, then you'd be good.
But a European swallow.
Where am I gonna get an African swallow this time of year?
Africa.
Makes sense.
I think
checks out.
Amazon has them.
Yeah, probably.
Deal
We'll
with
talk.
that.
We'll talk to my Uncle Donald. He works for Jeff Bezos.
Sort of. Not really.
Yeah, not really. Like an offshoot, sort of. He works
Is
for
it
Amazon.
Bezos or Bezos?
It's
Doesn't matter.
both.
I've never heard Bezos.
Though we like Bezos, though.
Yeah. You need to play video games with us, Jer. You'll get Bezos a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bezos.
Do you not?
Yeah.
Do you guys not play video games, or what happened?
We don't play with
I've
you
been
guys.
Playing so much Cyberpunk. What the hell?
Oh yeah.
No, not Cyberpunk, but the thing we're playing what were we playing? Call of Duty, Man of War. What is it called?
Man
Man
of
of
War.
War.
Like,
or or
I
the
just-
giant
I can't
galley.
remember.
Get the galley. That's true. Yeah, we tried to play with Robbie, and Ben's computer's like actively fighting him now or something. So it was just like,
Yeah, it got
yeah.
up and hit me in the face.
No.
It's pretty
No
incredible.
man of war for you.
Well, I remember we played.
Also, it has an unskippable cutscene in the beginning.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Come on.
You know, okay, okay, there you go. There's your rant, right? Unskippable cutscenes. I'm down with that.
Dude, but
What?
seriously
What
though.
do we skip?
What year is it?
Well, let's
First Kingdom Hearts had unskippable.
start with it. There shouldn't be cutscenes.
Not for Call of Duty.
Not for anything.
Yes, for
They
every.
pour a lot
Okay,
of
for
money into
things,
those
yes.
cutscenes.
No.
They get like big
So
actors.
I know. That's why they make you watch them.
Yeah.
I don't wanna
I
watch
did.
that.
I did see an interesting video that was talking about how Call of Duty only has a single player campaign to like legitimize itself, even
Yeah.
though almost nobody ever plays it.
I like the single player
Player.
campaigns.
It's still
I like
fun.
the-
guess.
Yeah,
well,
I think
I
they're
like
alright.
it.
I think they're alright. I don't think they're great. They're like a great 4-hour cinematic romp.
Yeah, it's a fun afternoon.
It is.
Modern Warfare
cinematic
3
romp.
was the last one that I played, and it was not good.
That's the last Call of Duty that I own. Is Call of Duty
Here's the thing,
3.
we don't.
Black Ops.
Oh, and this latest one's good, but we don't necessarily. I don't. Okay, I'll speak for myself. I don't necessarily play it because it's fun per se. I play it because we talk shit the whole time, and that's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's fun. I
That's
mean,
really-
it's fun, but
It's one of those games that you can just turn your brain off.
Yes.
Kind of just talk shit.
Yes.
Play,
run
that is
around
the
and shoot
best.
guys.
run
the best.
around. I get shot most of the time. I don't really.
Me
do
too.
a whole
I
lot
spend a
of
lot
Yeah.
of time being dead.
I
Mhm.
do like the
They're
I do
fun.
like the gameplay loop of Call of Duty. That's true.
Yeah.
I agree that the campaigns are a weird like pretension that they have.
Yeah. Speaking of Call of Duty, I feel like every week, Dad, you are slowly turning into like an aircraft pilot or something. Like you started out with the goggles, and now you got
The
this like
goggles.
sweet flight jacket going on.
That's right, yeah.
He's gonna have one of those old school like leather caps. with-
Oh, dude, I'm getting that next. That would be awesome.
He's
By
already
now,
got a
I
leather cap. Look at
goggles
him.
on it.
already got one, Ben.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
already
of course.
he's already got his
Leather
leather cap
cap.
on.
Oh,
38 years old, this leather cap.
you know, I actually found one
Ooh,
of those,
tanned. Well, not tanned, but
I
Mm.
found a leather cap in Cyberpunk, and it's the first time I actually put a hat on my character and was okay with it.
Really?
The hats in that game are so bad.
I have like a military
Never played
one.
a game
That's
with worse
really cool.
headwear.
And I'm
I
wearing
can't
like
go
a,
running around
a
in my
mask.
underwear. I'm not
Yeah.
shitting. I'm running around in my underwear. Why wear anything else?
Do you just have your
It's-
tits out and you're like,
I don't have. I don't have tits.
oh, you made
One-
yourself a
one
man
week.
with a penis too?
The smallest one I could get though.
Oh, penis one.
Penis one. I
There's,
chose
there's
penis one.
penis
Oh,
one, default,
I have
and
no
penis
idea
two.
what that was.
They
You gotta
actually.
have- You gotta go into life with penis two energy. Jim.
I actually. I paid extra and I got penis 0. So, yeah.
Oh
it's
my.
a-
Mm.
it's a
I
micro
thought
penis.
you meant like
It's-
penis 2, like TOO. Like, oh, you got the man with
The penis too?
And
Yeah.
I was like, I guess.
Here's the thing. I don't.
Don't those come stock?
Maybe it's a generational
I
thing, but
thought-
I don't understand the need to choose your penis.
Yeah,
I
why
didn't-
did they have a penis choosing option? It's not
really,
like it's
how did this
Yeah.
change
Oh,
it
it's
doesn't make
100%. It's 100% a marketing thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
sure.
But, no, I get all that, but I mean, like, it would have made more sense. All they had to do was a little blurb in the game, like one of the NPCs, like, "Damn, you know, that's all you needed," and it would have been worth it to choose your penis. But because no one notices, why choose a penis? Which is why I don't
Yeah.
wear clothes, because it's not like everyone's like, "Why are you in your under?" You know, you're walking on a nightclub in your
yeah.
underwear,
Yeah,
and no
nobody
one's,
cares.
or even go
Uh,
to milk or whatever with the underwear. No one's
My
like, "Hey,
favorite
you know,
thing is
the underwear."
My favorite thing is that the penis was like, if you did penis two, it would actually like clip through your clothes.
Would it really?
It
Oh
looked like your
god.
fly was down and your dick was just hanging out of your pants.
Whole penis too.
I think it's all about the representation. People want to feel like they're represented
Yeah.
across the spectrum. You know?
I
It does,
That's a re-
yeah. I guess it goes more into that. You can be a girl with a wiener. I mean, that's that. Or I guess
True.
you could have a feminine appearance and have a wiener. Is
Yeah.
probably the more accurate way to say that.
Mhm.
Which
Please.
is something that
Yeah,
some people.
did,
want.
did
And you could be
enrich my life.
you could be a male with boobs.
You
Oh, is that
can.
true?
Mhm.
I can be with male.
So-
man.
I think so. So, anyways,
be one.
speaking of
Okay.
male with boobs, we have a lot to cover because we're covering a limited series. So
Yeah.
we watched the Queen's Gambit on Netflix, which is their limited series that came out like October, end of October, about chest. So it's really good.
Yeah, it's limited series, meaning that it's just the 9 episodes, and that's it.
I think it's 7.
9.
Oh, is it 7?
Yeah,
I knew it was.
like-
I knew it was an.
What?
odd
Oh my
number.
god, I didn't watch them all.
Did I miss the ending?
Yeah, but that's it. It's just it's a long movie. I like this format of it's
missed
like
the
it's
middling.
like they used to call a mini series. Like that's what Band of Brothers was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I like this format a lot. I think that they do. I think it's a great format for telling a longer but still movie-like narrative.
I think it's like one of the
Yeah.
best ways you can adapt a book. Like one
That's a
single
great way to put
novel.
it, yeah.
Because Sharp Objects was on HBO. I don't know if I like that show, but it was a great adaptation because they hit all the plot points and they're able to cover all the characters and all the little threads and everything. Same thing with The Outsider, which is a Stephen King novel. They did that show on HBO, and so it just seems like it's a really good way to kind of like adapt a novel, like
It's also
not a
like-
series, but like a just one single novel.
It's also the best thing in the world when you know that a series like has a narrative to tell and then it's gonna go away.
Yeah,
I have a serious problem with shows that get syndicated where they're just like they run out of shit to talk about and then it's just like 10 seasons later and you're like I'm looking at you like Supernatural, The Simpsons,
Grey's
like,
Anatomy.
just like
I was thinking when I was watching this, I was like, there's no way that you could do more than
Oh,
this.
yes,
You wouldn't.
could.
No, I mean you
I
could.
agree that you
I mean
could.
producers can, but you
But
shouldn't.
Yeah.
If I'm sure they're in talks
Mhm.
about a
Queen's
reboot, a
Gambit
second
2,
one.
Right.
Electric
Yeah.
Boogaloo.
Yeah.
She's gonna have a daughter who's also good at chess.
Yeah,
And
also
it's
good
gonna
at
be the
chess.
same exact story again.
And she's
No, she'll
got
be
the
really good at
force power.
what's the Japanese one? She'll be really good at Go.
Go.
They'll change like
That's
the game.
Japanese chess is called Go.
Yeah.
Know that.
Is that the one where we put the tiles together? I thought that was
That's called
Mahjong.
Shogi.
mahjong.
Oh, Mahjong.
I like the one with the marbles.
There's Chinese checkers, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
That's the one that I
Or
like.
you may also be talking about Mancala.
No,
I like
think it's
Mancala.
Chinese checkers. I think that's
Chinese
the right one.
checkers-
There's
Chinese
there's
checkers.
Star?
8
The
player-
Star?
triangles.
Just 8
the
player checker.
star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
that's
soon
my
as
favorite.
as soon as Sorry
6
takes
players.
off as a huge.
Oh my
worldwide
god, yeah.
international game, dude,
I want
man,
competitive. I want competitive Uno.
Dude,
These games would last
competitive
forever.
Yeah, I
Dude.
don't. Man, Uno, I think is just a bad. Like, it's a fun, like we have nothing better to do game, but it's not a good. It like from the perspective of like games that exist and have like a purpose. Uno is probably one of the worst ones.
I love Uno. I don't know what you're
I love
talking
Uno.
about. Yeah,
that
great.
Phase 10 are the shiz.
Oh my god, yeah.
Here's-
Phase
Yeah,
10 is
they're
No,
great.
I'm
the
not a
same-
fan of
Phase 10.
games. I'm not.
I
a
like
fan-
Phase 10
I like
better
them,
than
so.
Uno. I mean, I think Uno's fun, but like it's so uncompetitive that it's
What are you talking,
just-
dude? You need to play Uno with us. It gets violent.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, you
If
get to
someone
yell at
doesn't
each
walk
other,
away
but
with a
there's no
severe limp,
skill.
not
Like the
playing.
skill cap of Uno is so low.
It's all.
So
It's like
so
it's
much fun.
basically like poker, but
You know the legit rules of Uno
Except you
are
don't
if
know
you
it.
have a draw 4, you must play it. That's actually in the rulebook too.
That's
not allowed
bullshit.
you're not allowed to withhold those.
bullshit.
Well, I know that's
We're-
what I'm saying.
That's why we play house rules, bro.
Uno is
House
Yeah.
anti-
rules.
House
Uno.
Mhm.
Yeah, house rules Uno. is great.
House rules Uno or street rules Uno. Okay.
Street- Playground rules.
Jungle Uno.
What was the? There's a great
Played
tweet
Dark Alley
where-
Uno.
There's a great Uno tweet where like the official Uno brand posted like, just so you know, you can't play a draw 2 on top of another draw 2, and the top reply was like, thanks for the cards, Uno, but we got it from here.
Yeah, that's a great. 'Cause, yeah, you should be able to stack every draw 4 in the deck on top of a draw 4.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
Damn.
And
Those are the
you
house
fuck, you
rules.
fuck one guy who wasn't even involved, and of course
Yep.
skill is really important in Uno.
Mhm.
And I'm still want the draw of 25 card. We need to add that.
Okay. Speaking of
Another Reddit.
everything that we just talked about, let's get back on the topic.
It's gonna be
um,
a tough one to do our usual format with. Where
This
we
is-
go through
it's-
every plot point.
Well,
we
really
don't have to go
quickly,
through every single one. Every
yeah, we don't have to
single.
go to- it's
Every
okay
single
because
one.
This thing, see, in my opinion, is as much as I agree with you, Ben, about this is a great format. I think this could have been better as a 2-hour movie. I think it was way
Really?
too long.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
We'll get into
Dang,
we'll get into
hot
this,
take.
and I'll
Okay.
explain why. It's not. I'm not just coming out of my ass. And I really
No,
like
no,
the show.
yeah.
I really like the show,
Mhm.
but the whole middle of it could have
That's
been gone.
interesting. So I really don't think that. Well, I mean, we should just highlight the. We should just explain what the narrative is. It's a very clear narrative, and then we can talk about what we like and don't like. I don't think we should get bogged into.
Yeah, we shouldn't go
scenes like we
step by
usually
step.
do.
'cause
Yeah.
we'll be
There's just way
overwhelmed.
too many.
Well,
So,
I'll give the
yeah,
I'll give the
yeah.
oversight then. So basically,
Yeah.
this girl becomes orphaned because, well, we'll get into it later. But yeah, she becomes an orphan, goes to this orphanage, and she basically gets taught how to abuse drugs by another
By her
orphan.
friend,
Yeah, and then also stumbles onto Chess, who the janitor teaches her,
Mr. Scheibel.
Mr. Scheibel.
Scheibel.
And so she starts to get really good. She's like playing in her head. There's a couple weird parts here that I'll touch back on. I wasn't a huge fan of. And then she starts going to competitions at like the local high schools and start beating all those kids at the.
Gets adopted.
Yeah.
So she starts going to these competitions at the high school. I'll get there. And then starts beating all those kids. And then
Hey,
yes, she
Dan.
does get it. Yes.
Gets adopted.
And then she gets adopted by this family. It's really weird. At first, it doesn't seem like they really like her all that much, and then they start to warm up to each other.
Well, hold on. Sorry, she gets adopted well before the competitions, right?
The
No.
that's what I was saying.
Danon's talking about. It's not a competition. She goes to a chess
not really a
club at a high
competi-
school and beats all of the kids in the chess club.
Is that before she gets adopted?
That's before
Yeah.
she gets adopted.
Yeah,
That's
but
in the
she's
still at the
first
orphanage.
episode.
I
Yeah.
apologize.
Right,
I,
but she doesn't
could've
do a
sworn it was
competition
that
Yeah.
way.
until.
Sorry,
It's not a
they're not
tournament
like
yet.
they're not tournaments, but it is it's like
Okay.
yeah, it's a
She
competition in the
shows up
chess
and
club.
kicks a bunch of like seniors' asses at chess
Mhm.
Oh,
in
it's
the first episode.
It's
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy with the short.
It's not Anya.
No, it's
Taylor-Joy.
the
not
the other
Taylor-Joy.
actress that I did not like at all. The wooden board that they got to play that poor girl.
Well,
So
yeah.
um
It's like 5, man. Just don't put
yeah.
5-year-olds in shows.
no,
Like, that's
just
all you
get
gotta
good
do.
actors. I mean, look at fucking
She's supposed
Stranger
to be
Things.
9.
What fucking
saying.
actor in Stranger Things is 5 years old?
She's not five. I mean, obviously the actress is not 5 years old though.
She's like, dude, I'm telling. She might.
She's
well
like
be.
15,
You
and
think
she's
that's-
playing a 9-year-old. So
I don't know any of that.
so she now I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
She gets adopted.
She gets adopted, and then yeah, she goes to this home, and then she starts figuring out more about like the world of chess, and that there's a lot more out there. So she learns by picking up medication from her mother that there's actual chess tournaments that you can win money at. And so she starts looking into those. There's one in she's in Kentucky. Is that it?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, she's in Kentucky.
she enters the tournament there. She asks her old mentor, Mr. Scheibel, to pay for her way into the tournament, and if she wins, she'll split the earnings with him. All that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Beats everybody there. And this is the tournament where like this is a pretty long tournament, and this is where she meets Dudley Dursley, right?
Mhm.
She meets
That's-
Towns.
yeah.
She meets Towns, and
Towns.
she meets
The hot dude.
No, Towns is the hot dude.
Oh, Towns is the hot dude, and then she meets, is it Henry or Harry?
Yeah, it's
Well, she
Harry,
meets the
I think.
twins here too. I read.
She also meets the twins.
Yeah.
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 She meets a bunch of people that are around.
Kling
for a
and
while.
Clang. Yeah.
Yeah, so a bunch of important people later down the line she meets at this tournament in Kentucky, wins that thing, and then when she comes home to her mother, adopted mother, who at this time is also going through a separation with her husband. It sounds like he has another family. They don't really touch on it too much, but he's just like
He
up,
just
up and
leaves.
disappears.
I mean, he just
Doesn't matter,
goes to
yeah.
Denver, and then he's just like, "I'm in Denver now.
Yeah.
Figure out your
He's
life."
a
Yeah, later.
traveling salesman, whatever that means.
Yeah, but it sounds like he had a family somewhere else. And so yeah, he stays over there, and so the adoptive mother kind of just like spirals downwards and just TV dinners and just kind of self-destructs. And then when she learns through Beth, oh yeah, Beth Harmon is the main character, by the way. When she learns through Beth Harmon that you can actually make money going to these tournaments, she starts organizing trips to other tournaments for Beth, and they kind of enter into this competitive chess world together. And the mother comes in as her manager and her
Yeah.
agent, and so
Yeah,
they start going to some pretty crazy ones, like all over the U.S. Some pretty big ones in the West Coast, and I think L.A., and then one in New York. And they're just kind of all over the place, flying to these places and beating everybody and winning tons of money, basically. But then it all kind of comes to a standstill when Beth's mom just dies. I think it's like an aneurysm or something like that. She kind of just dies in bed.
She dies of hepatitis.
Is it? Oh yeah, hepatitis. Okay, yeah, in the hotel bed.
Yeah.
Could you get
Um,
that back in the 50s?
I think it
she got
existed.
from the Mexican guy, I guess.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
dude
is
in
that-
Mexico
Is that what we're
City.
supposed to infer? Is that
I don't know.
I-
It makes sense.
Yeah, I never made that connection, and I mean,
I mean,
if
hepatitis
that's
can
what
be
happened.
sexually transmitted, and she had sex with that guy.
But she
and-
died in Mexico,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so she
Yeah.
she contracted it and died all in that.
I don't
It
know how
takes,
fast
yeah, it
that
takes a
was.
long.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it takes a long time for hepatitis to kill you.
She wasn't there that long.
Any of the hepatitis is. I mean, I'm no hepatitis-ologist, but I don't think it's a weekend. I don't think it is 24-hour hepatitis and you're dead. But
I don't know. Yeah, that was just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know one of them's really, really, really bad, and you have to take interferon and stuff. I've known some ex-heroin addicts who had hepatitis, but they had it for years and years and years. But I mean, there was this modern times more,
Yeah.
so who knows? Anyway,
This is like the '60s, so
the bitch
who
died.
knows?
All right.
Yeah,
yeah,
she-
she
she-
dies.
she
and
dead.
That just like enables Beth to become an alcoholic in her stead.
but yeah, basically. So she
Yeah,
she's
her
like
mom was kind of training her. Here, take this drink.
yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah. And so
We're on a plane. Let's drink.
yeah, and a little bit you kind of get to see Beth's. She's kind of gravitating towards drugs and alcohol, a little bit heavier,
She has
heavier.
one of these.
Heavier
like,
and heavier, yeah.
it's
She's
like
kinda
a
like-
weird
yeah.
kind of like pittering into rock bottom.
Yeah, it wasn't like a hard crash, but she like slowly gets introduced to it. It's like the finer things in life, and then it eventually catches up to her. But she goes back home to Kentucky, to her empty house now, and kind of brokers a deal with her adoptive father to buy the house from him.
Yeah.
And so she's staying there.
Like $7,000. What a
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like nothing.
Holy shit. I mean,
And-
back then it was a lot of money, but even now it's a lot of money, but not for a house.
Yeah, an entire
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she's still going to all these competitions. Along the competition line, she also meets that ratty kid. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, cowboy boy.
Yeah, Cowboy Boy.
I think his name is. I think his name is. I can't remember his name, but I think he has the green sight.
All right.
He's the
Well, he was in the
guy-
Maze Runner.
He was Roddy Rod in Game of Thrones, whatever the kid's name was.
Oh yeah, he's Jojen
Oh,
Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jojen
Yeah,
Reed.
Jojen
What did I
Reed.
say? Roddy
Yeah.
Rod, same thing.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Jojen Reed, got the
Jojen
green
Reed.
sight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lots of
he.
wolves.
Well,
Benny
yeah,
Watts
he's
is
the
his
best-
name.
Yeah, Benny Watts, and
Yeah.
he's the best. He's like the American All-Star or whatever of chess, and then she usurps his title.
Mhm.
Yeah.
After losing to
Like-
him once.
Yeah,
She
after
loses to him
once. But then it's the whole the whole series just like is really setting up her beating the chess god who is the
Russians.
Russian guy
Mhm.
Borgov.
Yeah.
And so and that's the whole thing. I mean, she has sex with Beltic and Watts along the way and stuff, but I think those are all like to me this show is just a shonen. It's just Dragon Ball Z but with chess. Like that's all it is. And it's fantastic as a result.
Dragon Ball Z with chess.
I never
saw
saw
Dragon
Dragon
Ball.
Ball.
I said no.
So
That was not what I would have
It's called
thought.
Dragon Ball Z. I thought it was called Dragon Balls. Anyways,
Dragon Ball.
Uh,
And
no,
Dragon
she's
Balls.
she fights people along the way to getting stronger and stronger, and the people she defeats become her friends until she defeats the big baddie at the very end. It's just Dragon
becomes
Balls. It's
friends.
any generic shonen anime. It's Naruto. It's Dragon Ball Z. Like any shonen, it's the same thing, and it's great. It's a
It
tried
is
and true
kinda like
formula,
that,
and
yeah,
I love
it's
it.
True.
yeah, you can't go wrong with the formula.
true.
Yeah.
Formulas are
Yeah.
there for a reason. But
Ravioli, ravioli. Give us the formuoli.
there we go. So basically, yeah, she like gets her way up to the World Series, like works her way up and keeps going, and eventually loses. Of course.
Is it
I
called
feel
the
like
World Series?
I don't know.
The U.S. Open? No.
No, it's the world, the U.S. Open of the world.
I think you're looking for the Super Bowl of chess.
Yes.
No, it's called the U.S. in Vegas.
Isn't
That's
it like
one.
it's
When
like
she's
the
in
chess
Vegas, it's
Grand
called the
Prix or
US Open.
something?
Yeah, the Grand Prix of
I
chess.
don't
I think
know.
it's
Yeah, the
called.
Grand Prix of
That's it.
chess. Yeah. So she gets to that point and she loses against Borgov, and
In
then
Paris,
yeah, and this is kind of when she spirals out, right?
Yeah,
Right.
she sort of like comes back. I mean, she was trashed when she played Borgov because
Mhm.
she met like the model girl. She comes
Yeah.
back. She she has lost a bunch. That's when she buys the house. That's when she kicks the Christians out of her house as well because she doesn't want them to support her, and she pays them all off to like
Kicks the Christians.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
basically, she's like strapped for cash, and she's an alcoholic, and she's like in really rough shape. But like
hard to
everybody abandons her. Benny Watts is like, "Don't call me. You're mean."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But her friend her old orphan friend comes back, and it's like, Jesus, you're
Out
like,
of nowhere.
yeah, your life is shit.
Mhm.
What the hell happened to you?
We'll get to
Uh,
that, Jeremy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out that she's like a lawyer, and she's got some money, and she sends Beth to Russia to finish off Borgov, and she kicks her
it-
addiction at the same time.
Yeah. We'll talk.
Yep.
Does she? Does she?
Yeah,
kick it?
she does. She kicks the addiction during the tournament, and then beats.
I guess
Borgov,
he
and
does.
that's it.
Yeah, and that's what the whole point of her being able to see the chess piece. So the whole time she's seeing chess pieces on the ceiling ever since she was a child, and that's how
Mhm.
but
she's
only when
playing the
she's
games
high. That's
in her head,
that
but
was
only
the
when
whole-
she's high. Yeah.
only when
Mhm.
she's high. Yeah.
So
It's
Mm.
really
So-
interesting. What are those things called? She's like taking the uppers, right? That they used to give wives.
Oh,
in-
it was.
I think they were
um,
downers, weren't they?
Yeah, it was like.
it's probably for hysteria.
yeah,
It
exactly.
was for hysteria. What was it?
Yeah.
Was I forget what it was. Damn,
So, probably heroin.
But
heroin. Oh, whatever.
No,
It's a very
Anyways.
common drug by today's.
Yeah. Valium.
Valium. Yeah,
The big V is the kids call it.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's the show. It's like I think the show itself has a very like clear direction. Like you know exactly how it's going to end when it starts, and she's
Yeah,
like,
but-
Borgov scares me, but it's all about the characters, right? It's all
Which
about
is
the
Mhm.
yeah, you're right. As predictable as it is, it's still very enjoyable to watch. I don't
Yeah.
think you care. I think you're watching it, and I personally didn't care how predictable it was. It didn't bother me. Where some things they're so predictable, it's painful. This one, you know where it's going because it's essentially the hero's journey. I
Yeah,
guess
I'll
everything
say-
is.
In the
Um,
first episode, it was a little bit painful for me. I was like, this is too like, she's in the orphanage and she discovers chess. The first episode was a little bit painful for me to get through because I did feel like it was a little bit too predictable. The first episode.
Yeah, I
Did-
watched the
maybe
first
that was just me.
episode and then didn't touch it again until I think Danon. Or no, I think one of my brothers said it's really good. You should watch. I'm like, okay, I'll go back to it, and then that's when I went back.
Well,
back
once you got the
Yeah,
first
you have to
episode out
stick
of the
through.
way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the first
that's the
episode
thing.
is
I
the
hate
worst
that,
first
though.
episode of any miniseries I've seen.
It's
Yeah, it's
so
not
slow
good.
and it's so predictable. It's one of those things where I ended up really falling in love with the show and liking it a lot. But I remember thinking, if I wasn't watching this for this podcast, I would have watched that first episode and I would have done just that. I would have put it down. And I don't know when I would have finished
They
it.
also don't have
Hmm.
Anya in the first
ever.
episode. She's
Yeah.
like, she is the dude. She plays Beth Harmon so well.
Yeah, and she's compelling. You don't see her until much later. So the first episode to me was like, and it felt a little bit Downton Abbey. The first episode, I was just like, no.
Oh, don't talk shit about my Downton Abbey, there, boy.
Yeah, I will.
I love
Yeah,
Downton
you did.
Abbey.
You went
7-year-old
there.
I think,
mom
went
yeah,
there.
I think you're right. The first
Okay.
episode could have been 10 minutes. Like the first episode could have literally been 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just didn't need all that.
Well, I'll tell you
Yeah,
why.
no.
So we'll jump into this now that we've gone to the thing. I'll
Yeah.
tell you why it could have been 2 hours. And I think that they missed some major characters, wasted some time, a lot of time on useless characters, and wasted a lot of time in the show. And I don't know why they chose to do this, but her friend from the orphanage was a
Yeah.
major wasted character.
Mhm.
Should have been through the whole show. Her showing up at the end, and Beth Harmon, who has not made since she left the orphanage and has been doing really well for herself, could have tracked her old buddy down and tried to help her out. Something, anything, nothing. Didn't care about her, and then she just shows up at her door. And this character, see, what I didn't like about that is they just brought the character back in to pay for Beth to go to Russia.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah, she was a
wasted
Deus Ex
character.
Machina. Yeah.
Which sucked because the character was very compelling, I thought, and to,
Mhm.
to just use her,
Yeah.
to bring her in at the beginning and then just use her at the end, it's cheap. And
Yeah.
Towns was a great character, completely wasted. They spent all this time on Dudley. I was okay with the country kid kind of thing.
Benny Watts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Towns,
He was good.
they brought him in just to be the is he gay guy. create drama, and then he's out.
Mhm.
And then he comes at the. Remember too, at the end of the show when he shows up in Russia, she's met him what, twice,
I think 3 times.
Yeah, a
That's the
handful.
third
3
time.
times. She doesn't know
Mhm.
this fucking
Mhm.
guy. She doesn't know him. They're not
Yeah.
great friends. It's like, oh, thank God I know someone here that I know. She doesn't know him. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
last time she saw him, he was scamming on her so hard. And then
Yeah.
out walks the boyfriend. You're like, what the fuck? So that shit sucked because it was just created to create drama in the show instead of being a compelling story, which it could have been the whole time. We could have been building up with this thing. We could have gone through Towns' thing. Is he struggling with his sexuality? Something, anything
Mhm.
except for all this boring Dursley stuff where he shows up out of nowhere, inserts himself into Anya's life. Not Anya, but what's her name? Beth Harmon's life.
That's hard.
For
Yeah.
no reason.
Mhm.
Waste a bunch of time. It's a point.
That's the guy who coaches her the first time around.
Yeah,
Is that
his
who-
Yeah,
eyes
he
are
lives with
next
her.
to his nose, and her eyes back and forth. It's hard to watch. No, but it's a useless 3 fucking hours of this shit. And the same
Yeah,
thing
that
with
was
the
a-
French
yeah.
girl. The only reason they brought the French girl in is to bring her in later, so homegirl could be too fucked up to properly play the Russian. They could have done that a such better way because the
Mhm.
characters in, back out, back in again when they need drama.
It
What the
is,
fuck
and this
all
is
that?
a
They
challenge.
waste all
right,
this time on
right.
This is
Dudley.
a challenge of books, right? Like
What the hell is this?
I think this is a case where it probably played out that way in the books, where it wasn't like as important. But there's probably tons of like inner monologues from Beth of like, and Towns makes me feel this way, and my heart flutters, and a bunch of
Yeah.
flowery language, and that it makes it seem more important in the books. But then like the amount of time that you actually spend real time on like on set with the guy is so low, and then you just end up with this like weird washed out feeling when the love interest returns, and you're like,
Luckily,
Yeah.
Mhm.
is it a love interest? Luckily, that guy is so charismatic, right? That it works still,
He's good. Yeah.
but it was a wasted.
well, I
character.
mean, you see him on screen, and you're like, of course she's in love with this guy. Have you seen
Yeah.
him?
Like, I'm in love with this guy. Come on. Well,
They're
that's
playing
why.
chess
Quite a lot.
together.
That's
Yeah.
why I thought Benny Watts and Beth's they're kind of like back and forth between like he was kind of falling in love with her and she was just kind of like using him kind of thing. I thought that made a lot more sense because you saw a lot of them together a lot of the time, you know. Whereas like you're right, no, you're right, but you're right though with Towns because if Towns isn't there for like he's only there for like maybe a fifth of the entire series, you know, and
Yeah.
but he's the guy that she's still tripped up over.
Pining for. She
Mhm.
doesn't need any of these guys that insert themselves into her life.
Mhm.
You know,
No.
she doesn't. She doesn't need Benny Blanco from the Bronx. She doesn't need Dursley, you know, Dudley Dursley, whatever his name is. She doesn't need the cowboy kid. She just doesn't. Because
Mhm.
at the end, it's definitely proven when she's off the dope and she still beats the Russian guy and she sees the shit on the ceiling because then she's just a true math genius or whatever, you know, a prodigy or whatever hell you want to call it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like I said, that felt like a lot of wasted time to me when we could have had these cool relationships with the girl who would essentially be her sister, right? That she grew up with in the orphanage. And the Towns guy, we could have had that back and forth in and out of his life. And like I said, him is he struggling with his sexuality or something? That would have been way more fascinating than her playing fucking boring chess with Dudley for 2 fucking episodes and him pining over and getting his teeth fixed. Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like so boring. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like they could have really chopped that whole center part out,
Mhm.
and you know, and it would have been a lot better. And I know what you're saying about Ben about books. And see, this is my own problem when someone loves a book, and I am the same person. Well, I'll love the book, but when I see when they turn into a movie, I give it a huge break because shit that works in books does not work in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
true.
And people always say, "Oh, it's nothing like the book." It shouldn't be like the book.
Mhm.
Because the book is in your head. The movie's in front of your eyes and it's someone else's vision. So you already have, but I mean, there's shit that works in books that has to be cut out. You have to cut out plots, subplots. You have to take characters and put them together. You have to, or it's not going to be fun to watch. And this, as much as I like this, I know it sounds like I'm shitting all over it, and I really did like it. Because the acting was fucking great. Anya Taylor-Joy is amazing. She's great. in
Yeah.
everything.
Everyone was good in this. I thought.
Everyone was good.
Yeah.
in it.
I mean, except for the orphan girl in the very beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for
And actually, you know what?
Planky.
I really
Planky.
didn't like. I didn't like the.
Planky
I didn't like the orphan mom, the adopted mom. I thought
I
her
liked her a lot.
her
Oh, really?
facial expressions were
That's pretty
fantastic,
good.
but it sounded like she was reading a script. She couldn't act with her voice,
Hmm.
but she could sell the facial expressions. Like,
Oh, you know, that's an
great.
interesting. That's
It
an
was
interesting
it,
take.
it really bothered me.
Out of it, I just thought that she was weird.
Yeah, I
That's
thought so
why.
too.
That's it.
Like,
yeah.
No. I
Like,
get what
well,
you're
she's
saying.
just
You're
like-
saying
Yeah.
it's a technical issue. I think that, I thought the actress herself was just like, the mom is just a weirdo. I'm gonna play her like a weirdo.
Right. Well, she's this
Mm.
repressed woman who like kind of is a really great piano player but never really got to pursue her dream, and she's been in this clearly horrific relationship,
I don't think it's that
Mhm.
horrific.
marriage with this guy who
Mhm.
basically
Where's
resents
this
her.
wrong word? Why is it horrific? Because the
He
guy
resents
just
her.
got
He
her around.
basically hates her.
Bro, that's marriage.
He hates her, and
That-
then he makes her adopt a child. He forces her to adopt a child. that
Yeah,
he
until she'll
doesn't
shut up.
want.
That's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
I
So
thought
It is.
if she adopted you, she would finally shut up. That's pretty
Yeah.
fucking-
Yeah.
He hates her so much, and that all he wanted to do was
Alright, it's
make
kind of
her
a dick.
shut up.
yeah, Liz says that she thought that the mom was just quirky. She likes her. I like the mom. I thought the mom character was great because I was afraid that they were going to fall into very. One thing I really liked about the show is they don't fall into very stereotypical tropes. They kind of they tiptoe around them and they touch on them a lot, but they don't submit to them. So like the mom, I thought was totally going to like come in and then just bleed Beth Harmon dry. But instead, they actually form a good like friendship and a good
They have a
partnership,
great
and it's great.
relationship.
Like the
Yeah,
relationship is
awesome.
fantastic.
I
I also like
did not expect them to have a good relationship.
yeah, and then I love when the mom comes and asks her if she can be her manager. You know, is very honest. You know, she was very shy about it, and like she was like,
I see
I-
this totally different than you guys.
really,
I don't agree
Okay.
with you at all.
really, okay,
I think the mom is a piece of shit. And I'll tell you, and I like the actress. I like the way she played the character. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the character. That character was a drunk loser feeling sorry for herself because her husband left her until Beth Harmon had something to offer her.
See,
which
but that's
was-
what I was worried about too. But
and
then this is
she
where it flipped.
used her.
I don't think she used it.
But here's the thing:
Well,
would they have had this close relationship if Beth Harmon wasn't a chess genius making her all the money? And the answer is no.
I think it needed a
That's why the mom's
catalyst.
piece of shit.
It-
You know what? When you love someone, they don't
that's
have to be a
bizarre.
chess genius, man. You know, and that's why that character, like I said, was in the shit until it was like, oh wait, we can make how much
I-
money can you make on this? And also,
Carol,
like,
wait, hold on a second.
See,
though.
but that-
You're
drunk
just-
everywhere.
Wait,
this-
wait, wait,
this
wait.
complaint is just that the character underwent growth.
Yeah,
You're just like, I'm upset that she was a
See-
bad person in the beginning, and then we're just supposed to accept that she like grew closer to her daughter because of a catalyst and became a better person.
You're
in the
saying
end?
it's a catalyst.
I'm saying
I
it's a
think
catalyst.
Catalyst.
It's
Yeah,
absolutely
I know
a
what you're saying.
catalyst.
You're saying that. I'm saying that's not what I saw.
Okay,
You didn't see that she was bad in the beginning and developed a strong relationship with her daughter.
Only because she made her money.
Who cares?
I
what
don't
the
think so.
relationship Was for?
I don't
Trips
think so.
Everywhere,
If they
flying
all
everywhere.
lost the
I
money,
think that you guys are both kind of right in the sense that she's a little bit of a piece of shit because let's be real, Daryl's right. Before, because
Yeah, no,
she was
she-
like, "Oh, hey baby, how is your chess thing or whatever?" And she's like, "Oh, I smoked everyone. I won, or this great competition." She's like, "Oh yeah, whatever." She doesn't care about her, and she doesn't care about chess at all until there's money involved. So
Mhm.
she is kind of a piece of shit. It's true because the only reason she decides to take an interest in her daughter's life is because money. Once that happens, it's a bad motivation because you're right, Daryl, in the sense that you should love your daughter whether or not she's raking in the dough for you. But then they develop. I don't think like a mother-daughter relationship.
No, it's
I
a.
think
it's
they
not a
develop-
mother-daughter
I think they
relationship.
develop just a regular friendship
I think so too.
partnership.
Yeah, yeah.
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 You know what I'm saying?
I would agree with that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not
So-
That's
saying
not motherly love. That's
Yeah.
not motherly
Um,
love. That's
it's,
not.
It's not, and it's not growth to use to win to not care about someone until they have something to offer you. That's not growth.
Yeah,
That's
and I
using
think the
someone.
relationship is enduring, and she does grow. I think the mother does grow, and she does end up really caring for the daughter. But the catalyst for that is based on her being kind of a selfish person who,
Yeah.
she is kind of a piece of shit because of that. And I think it's not that she becomes this great motherly figure. She doesn't ever.
And I don't think the show.
No, I
She
think
doesn't.
they just-
No, she's
yeah,
terrible.
they
You know,
just they just develop a strong relationship.
Just a
Yeah.
friendship. Yeah, that's based on initially money.
Yes, and Liz has a good point, and I'd like to point this out because I actually agree with her completely. So she says about the mom, she was navigating trauma, and she would have found love for Beth, I think, either way. No one was supportive of women in chess, though, so it may not have been right, but not abnormal. I mean, the mom also does say this is like when Beth starts to go do these chess tournaments. There's comments everywhere about her being a woman and playing chess, even from the mom, you know. And so I think like at this point, like Liz is right. Like this is I mean, her husband just left her, and so she's just basically like a shell of a person. And then she kind of sees again, it's not the best way to do it because she perks up at the money, and they kind of make a big deal out of it for about 5 minutes. But she does find a purpose again, you know, where she doesn't have to be a housewife because she obviously didn't want to, you know. She doesn't like being a housewife. They show that when she's like walking around in her nightie and smoking, and then her husband comes home early, and then she freaks out. She's like, "Oh, he's gonna want like dinner and stuff like that," and like rushes around. She doesn't, you know, it's not her. It wasn't her dream to look after her husband, and so now that she has something that she can do that she is good at, she is good at this because she sets up all these tournaments and the trips and all that stuff, and the lodging, and can figure all this stuff out. Well, I don't even want to go in that direction. But
I know. I'm just saying I couldn't disagree with you more. I think she desperately wanted to be a wife. That's why when he comes home, that's why she's, oh my God, I'm not ready. And then he's just like, what's your problem? Yeah,
No.
she wants to be.
Like
And
she
he
was
doesn't want
excited
her.
to be that wife,
When
and
he
he
came
rejected
home
her.
early. Yeah, she was super excited that he came
That's
home early.
true.
I'm not ready. I need to get ready. Oh my God.
What
And
are
then
you
he
talking about?
gets all
She's
I don't
think
upset
she-
that he came home early because she's smoking and drinking a beer.
yeah,
She's
you guys don't
freaked
remember
out that he's gonna get mad.
You guys don't remember the part when he shows up and she's excited that he's home early?
no,
She's not
no, she's
excited.
not excited. She's freaking out.
What are you talking about? She's like, oh
I-
my
Yeah,
God, he's
no,
back.
I
no,
think
she's freaking out.
embarrassed. She's
Yeah.
embarrassed because of the beer and the cigarette, but she's still. See, I think she was excited too, and she was smoking and drinking, and she was embarrassed that he came home early because he saw her like that. But she was still
If she-
excited that he was home.
If she didn't want to be a
I
wife
get
to
that.
that guy,
There was nothing in the show that
hold on.
really
She would
explicitly
not.
stated that.
Yeah, but it's just through the actions. She wouldn't have been sad and depressed when he left. Then why would she care?
Because she wants to be in love.
Because
Thank
she
God-
gave up
thank
on
God
her
he's gone.
dreams to
You
be a
guys are just contradicting
pianist.
yourselves.
No.
We're not contradicting ourselves.
We're not
Exactly.
contradicting ourselves.
She gave up her dreams to be a pianist to be a wife. And I said pianist,
because she got
to
pregnant.
this guy.
That's a plot point. She got pregnant, so she had to get hitched, and so she
What
had
does
to
Liz
give up on her
think?
dreams.
She seems to be the voice of reason from time to time.
She's not on your side. But yes, please, Liz.
No, that's
since
fine.
you're on
I
our
still
side.
want her opinion.
I don't
Well-
understand how you can overlook the fact that she is literally telling Beth what not to do. Don't get pregnant and lose your dreams. That was literally the point of that conversation.
After the
But that's
husband leaves her.
well, it didn't work
Yes.
out for her. But I think that she had this idea of how it was supposed to go. Right? She was supposed to have a loving husband. She was supposed to get pregnant. That tragedy wasn't supposed to happen. And so I, you know, what I'm saying, like, not to get too bogged down in this.
Yeah, and I think we just
I know
move on,
this
we're
is-
getting too bogged down in
This is
But-
bogged down in like time
Interpretation.
period. Yeah. This is
It's
the
an
50s.
interpretation thing, right? Like you guys saw
Yeah,
it one way,
yeah.
I just saw it another.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a tough. I think it's a tough pill to swallow there. But whether the mom was a deeply, deeply flawed person, regardless of
Yes.
whether you can forgive her
Eh,
actions in the show.
And can we just say, is that really the right way to have killed her off? She's just gone in an instant, right? I know I'm
I think
jumping
it
ahead
was-
at this point,
I
but
think it was right. Yeah,
she's just boom. Oh, now she's dead.
and it was right after Beth lost to Borgov the first time.
Yeah, it was.
Is it right after?
It's literally
Yeah,
when
'cause
she
they-
gets back to her room from losing to Borgov. Her mom
It didn't
is dead.
seem like there was. It seemed like there was almost no hang time between her
There was some
dying and
coughing.
then just.
There was a couple times
moving
the
on.
mom coughed. That wasn't enough for you?
I don't think so.
You need
It
more
was
than
like-
coughing?
You
was
didn't
enough
feel
to
like her
signify
death was
when she-
inevitable?
Well, in
interesting.
episode 5, she
inevitable,
coughed
yes.
twice, 48 minutes in, and in episode 6.
Inevitable, yes, like
sneezed.
maybe towards the end of the series or something like
She was
that.
dead.
But
You
then
didn't
to
see that
just
coming?
have her offed and then they don't really spend that much time,
Really quick, yeah.
you know.
To your
on
point,
it at all.
Jeremy, these were my problems with the writing of this show. Well, we don't need the mom anymore. Shit. Oh, let's just kill her. Is what it felt like.
Yeah.
Let's just eliminate her.
There's a
no,
a few
no pomp and
moments like
circumstance. Let's
that.
just kill her. Beth Harmon doesn't seem to care about
No,
it.
she doesn't.
Yeah, that was
That's
kinda
what's
weird.
Crazy.
But I think, that was okay
she's
with that
got
though because
that's
that's
what
that
she's
character.
like. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's her character. She doesn't feel much. She hasn't since she was a child because of her
She's an
own traumas.
extremely analytical person, which is what makes
That
her
too,
good at
because she's
chess.
yeah,
She's
exactly.
like she experiences life through like the lens of logic. That's why she like,
Yeah.
and I think Anya does a great job selling that because like, especially in the first couple episodes with her, dude, the way that she like looks around the room before answering questions and like,
Yeah.
like she has this like very studious expression on at all times, and she says very little in those first episodes, and like
Yeah.
I think
Planky.
it's yeah, it's
Planky
sold the
doesn't have too
idea
much to say.
not playing key, but I think it really sold the idea of like this girl is like analyzing constantly and has very measured responses to everything. Like I can't commend Anya enough for that. But like when the mom died, to me, narratively, that was just like she lost a Borgoth. She goes back to her room. Her mom is dead. Oh fuck, can she stay in the house? It was like a 1-2 punch, like in the middle of the series with like, you're down more. Fuck you, Beth Harmon. Your life feels like it's falling apart right now. And that was what the show needed at the time. I didn't feel like there was more.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
she
get-
lost to did she lost to Watts actually, right? Or no,
that
no,
what
she
it
didn't
is?
lose to
No.
Borgoth.
I,
It was
I don't
Borgoth.
remember.
Wasn't it that? Was it the little kid? I watched this a few weeks ago. Actually,
No,
almost like
she-
a
Yeah,
month
it's been a
ago.
few weeks for me too. So
She beat the little kid.
She
it
did beat
did-
the little kid, but she
it
lost
felt
to
fine
Borgoth.
for me. It
Mm.
felt fine for me. Like it worked thematically, and cinematically, and whatever the
Mhm.
fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, and I didn't spend
It
too much
works.
time on it, but it did
Yeah.
stand out to me. It seems like sometimes in the show, when things needed to happen for the sake of the plot or whatever, it was just like hard left turn.
I mean, not
Yeah.
no, especially at the
Going
very
for it.
end. The very end, like that did feel. If it wasn't so goddamn emotionally heavy and taxing, then the orphan friend coming back would have felt very contrived. But
It
the
did
fact
feel
that
very contrived.
Mm.
I mean, for you, but it didn't feel like that for me just because of how heavy those scenes were.
And I also thought like, well, the orphan friend that comes back, well, it seems like she's got a really interesting story actually. Like she's saying, "Oh, this thing and this thing happened to me." I'm like, "You sound fascinating. Could we have? Would have liked to have seen what happened to you."
It would have been great to run a concurrent story.
Yeah, which you could have done.
And then she shows up at the end. It would have made more sense instead of just, like I said, my problem with the show is these convenient plot points. They just do, and then they wasted also the time on stuff that was, like I said, boring to me. Relationships that were boring. It meant nothing to the show. They meant nothing to the show. Those relationships, and these relationships, I can't remember that character's name, but her
Beltic?
no, well, Beltic, but no, I'm talking about Towns, and I'm talking about her sister from the orphanage, basically, her adopted sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Way more interesting.
what they were trying to do
stories.
was demonstrate that Beth Harmon is always going to have a deeper connection to chess than other humans.
Yeah, true.
Uh,
I don't think
and
we needed the 3
so-
hours to convey that.
yeah, maybe not, but that's what the show's about.
I
And
think we already knew
that's
that,
probably
yeah.
what the book is about. I'm assuming, which is why
Yeah,
it went that
You're
way.
probably right. Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, they could have taken a risk and like tried to change the plot of the book, but I mean,
To that point, though, this goes to show when you do have a good story and it's done well, and you have amazing acting, that it overrides the problems. You know what I mean? Because I still really
Yeah.
liked it. It's my I bring it up a lot about Jaws. The shark always looked like shit, but you were in, and so when
Yeah.
you finally saw it and it jumped out of the boat and it looks like a fucking stupid rubber robot, you're so into the movie you don't care. You see a real shark, and
Right.
that's a testament to how good something is if it can overcome its own major problems. Which, like I said, I feel these were major plot. I don't want to say armor is not right.
no, it's a issue with the writing.
It's just
right?
an issue with the writing. But again, she's so compelling to watch, and she's such a good actress, and everybody was fucking amazing. It was perfectly cast.
Mhm.
It made it worth. If it didn't have these elements I'm talking about, this show would not have worked at all. You know
It's
what I mean?
very interesting because like you're right in that, you know, it's not an overtly interesting narrative at all, actually. But because of the relationships of the characters, because of how compelling the acting is, it's almost like who cares? Like I'm so sold by this stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird
Yeah.
that other shows that also had compelling acting couldn't come close to like selling this as well. I'm thinking of like the last season of Game of Thrones. That also had pretty good acting, but like
Yeah.
Somehow it didn't have the right level of coverage for how bad the narrative had gotten.
But we don't have a whole bunch of
Yeah.
expectations riding on the past 4 episodes of this show like we did the past 4 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Well, that's the problem with Game of Thrones
Yeah.
before it went to shit was amazing.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
you've
that's true.
raised the expectations so much that if you not even near it, it's going to suck. So
It also ended in a really Queen's Gambit ended exactly the way it should have as well, with her beating Borgov.
Yeah, and it
Mhm.
was it felt right. You wanted it to happen, and when it did, you felt and it was cool that everyone respected her.
Mhm.
Everyone respected her. I think that was the correct response. No one was a little bitch about it, which was nice.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah, it was
respected, like,
awesome.
That was one of
And
my
I
favorite
loved-
things. Yeah.
it was that's what I loved about the ending. It shouldn't have been any other way, and so they did it right. You know,
They did a really good job with that too, nailing the Russian perspective of that. Say what you want about Russia, but they actually, out of need for survival, they've been pretty progressive with certain gender parts of things. And so when Beth Harmon finally makes it to the final Russian thing, and the commentator's like, yes, and the Russians, they're not really that afraid of a woman, because actually in Russia, there's a whole women's league, and here's the women's champion right here watching these games. And it's like, oh yeah, that's totally legit. Like
Yeah.
the Russians would not be impressed by a female chess player in the 60s. And so I'm glad they didn't just like try to hammer
They're
that
not
home.
dazzled by the novelty. It's not a
Yeah,
novelty to them.
No, because they've like their history is so depressing that most of the time they've been like, you're a woman, I don't care. You have a brain, use it, because
Anything can be-
otherwise we're
Right.
all dead.
Yeah.
yeah, right. None of us are going to space without this.
Yeah,
Well, that's
so it's-
that's a great point,
it's
because
cool.
like, yeah, when she first beats, I need to figure out what his name is. The first Harry Beltic, when she beats Dudley Dursley the first time, and he comes in late like a jackass, and sits down and does this thing and then like moves, and then she just
Licks his
spanks him.
fucking teeth.
Yeah, she spanks this guy, and he's like flabbergasted, and then he's like, good game, and then shakes her hand. I was like,
Yeah.
thank you for not just turning him into an asshole, because that would have been so boring. But instead, he becomes a friend, and helps her through like
He
getting
becomes
to the.
Vegeta. It's awesome.
I don't get these references, man. I don't watch that show.
That's so dumb.
He's actually more Piccolo.
Yeah.
I think Benny Watts is actually Vegeta, because they're closer to.
You know,
to
if you're
same
gonna
with
if you're
Carlo.
gonna Vegeta your Piccolo, that's
Vegeta
Oh,
the
God,
Piccolo.
yeah.
At least there's somebody out there that that understands me. I
Vegeta
think Jeremy
Piccolo
gets
is
it.
my
Yeah,
nephew,
Jeremy gets
man.
you.
Speaking of which,
Oh, yeah.
really
So
quickly,
funny.
totally left. If you ever get if you get a chance, watch the Bee Gees documentary on HBO Max. Amazing. Okay, moving on.
All right.
There you
And
go.
watch it. Oh, good. Well, I love the Bee Gees, so
Okay. Liz disagrees with you, Ben.
oh, I thought Liz
On
was
the
this could be
Dragon
about
Ball
the Bee
Z
Gees, and I was gonna
connection or what?
I don't care what you say. This is a shonen, and it's a shonen anime.
Hold on.
That's all it is.
What does Liz think about the Bee Gees?
All
That's more important.
right, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
If you don't see how Beltic and Piccolo are the same person, I don't know.
I do.
That's
I really don't. I really don't.
I
Why-
like
it's
that
kinda-
she kind of becomes like buddy with the twin. They seem like twins.
Yeah,
to me.
that's
yeah, the
that's
twins.
cool.
The
Yeah,
Mhm.
twins
Yeah,
are
I like
cool.
that. When her mom is out partying with her Latin lover,
Mhm.
like she's like just hanging out with
Mhm.
with the two twins who were such assholes to her in the
And
There was
beginning.
being,
was there four
like,
of 'em?
being so
This-
sexy
two.
in her bathing
two
suit,
twins,
like
yeah.
out of nowhere. What the hell was that scene? It was
Yeah,
great. It was just fan service. They're like,
Right.
Anya Taylor's hot. Let's put her in a bikini and have
She
her
is.
talk
I
to me.
mean, let's be real. Major Emma Stone vibes, right? Am I
Yeah.
the only one that
Stone.
picked?
I
up
feel
on
it
this
too because
immediately?
yeah,
No opinion.
What?
Thanks, Liz.
Come on, she's a dead ringer. I feel like in the way that she literally, she's the way that
I
she
think
looks,
Emma
the
Stone's
redhead.
quirkier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's
But
dialed.
it's the same type of
back.
vibe.
She's
I
got
would say.
well,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
it's weird because like she looked like a lot of different famous actresses to me in a lot of different moments. There were some
By the
scenes where I
wig.
was like, is that Emma Watson? Like
I thought she was Emma Stone through and through, like the demeanor, and it wasn't a bad thing. It was just, she's got a lot of the Emma Stone isms,
Hmm.
maybe. I don't know. I didn't pick up on that one as much, but I definitely
Wow,
compared her. I
really?
compared her
I
to
didn't pick up
other
on this.
actresses, though.
I would say in other stuff she's done, but not this movie. She played this pretty dry most of
Yeah.
the time.
What else is
So,
she? She's in something else that's pretty big, right?
She was in Split.
the New Mutants,
Oh, she was in Split.
huge film.
I just saw that actually.
What the New
Man, that
Mutants?
was bad. Yeah,
That's a stubbed toe of an hour and a half.
That's a stubbed
God.
toe.
I
Speaking of
thought
Game
she
of
did
Thrones,
a really
yeah.
good job in Split, although I did not like that movie.
I see. I actually liked Split, and I thought she did a great job in it.
So
I
did I.
really liked
Mm.
Split.
Mhm.
And talking to M. Night Shyamalan, it's one of his few good movies. That and Lady in the Water. Lady in the Water is amazing.
Not.
No, you are
you don't
joking.
like,
you are
you don't like
joking
the-
right now.
You don't like the
Lady in
Sixth
the Water is
Sense?
terrible. I love The Sixth Sense.
Okay, I
It's
was
like
like,
really
Signs.
only good film.
I
I
like
think
Signs.
Sixth Sense is probably
I
Signs
like
is.
Signs.
You know what? Signs is very good.
Sounds is good.
I really liked Split. Glass was absolute shit.
I just-
Unforgivable. What's his movie where the
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Oh, Unbreakable.
Terrible.
Is supposed to be really
Forgivable.
good, isn't it?
terrible.
Is it? I
That
thought
movie,
that was like a
everybody
cult
loves
hit.
that movie. That movie's fatal flaw is that this guy goes until he's my age, late 40s, not knowing he's unbreakable. Come on. He would have actually fallen down some stairs, something, anything.
That's pretty
And he's a
bad. I've never
security
seen the
guard.
movie, but
Oh,
that
that's a
sounds
good
horrible.
It's a screen rant. It's a great screen rant, right? You guys
You're
watch
telling
Screen
me-
Rant, right?
Yeah.
This guy made it
Occasionally.
40.
Yeah, it would have been a great screen rant. Anyways.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I didn't like Split
hilarious.
because the end. I mean, that talk about a contrived ending. That's contrived. Oh,
I like
you-
that ending.
You
I really
you
liked it.
self-harm. You're broken just like me. I guess I'll fuck off instead of killing you like I was planning to for the whole movie. What kind of message does that send to people?
I don't
you-
care about the
if you
message.
Self-harm, you're special and you should be proud of yourself
Well,
for that.
no.
Well, then, if by that logic, then everyone should have a mother named Martha so they don't get fucking killed by Superman.
That's also stupid. I'm not defending that
No, by
logic.
Batman.
I love it.
Oh, by
Superman
Batman,
who's going to
sorry.
be killed.
I
Damn.
actually that I watched that movie 3 times, and I only made
Wow.
it past the first 30 minutes 0 times. So it's a
Wow,
bit
you
of a
haven't even
rough
seen the
watch.
Martha scene then.
I've seen the
Never
Martha
got
scene.
30
Because of the
minutes.
Martha
But I
scene.
had to specifically go to YouTube and watch the Martha scene,
I tell
Exactly.
everyone my mother's
So,
name is Martha.
Context.
just in
So-
case.
Queen's
You never
Gambit
know.
creators, just so you know, the fact that we're even talking about your movie means that we must, or your show means that we must have liked it. So you
We
should
said
be proud
movie.
that you made it.
Oh, I
this
really liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It helped that it had Anya Taylor-Joy in it.
she's
hot.
great.
It really
You know,
is.
Helped
there
with
are
amazing
some
acting.
there are some weird parts in that because
She's
she's
really
supposed
good
to be
actor.
like 13 and 14. That entire scene with Towns in the hotel room
Hotel.
was very, very
And
awkward
this
because
is
she's like
something about
14.
books. This is this.
What,
Well, she's
14? I
17.
thought
She's
that
like
was
14 or
17.
15 at the.
She's
She's
I did the
17.
math.
Okay.
She's 17.
Thank
'Cause
God.
Yeah.
I was like, this is uncomfortable, but this is the thing about books, man.
It's
She
so.
probably
It's
was
still. It was still a weird scene.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
probably
yeah.
was 14 in the novel, dude. It's just like in freaking Game of Thrones. Danny is freaking 13 in her
the
sex
novel,
scene with
yeah.
Khal Drogo.
Mhm.
They like I don't know what it is
Hmm.
about novels, but kids having sex is so common, and like we're all just okay with it in books. I don't understand this. It bothers me, and so like the fact that that was happening, I was like, this is just a thing that it's probably coming from the book. They probably just had a 14-year-old getting, sexually touched by a 30-year-old.
Maybe I don't know
You
if
know,
anyone's okay with it
Is
per
Towns
se.
like 30? How old is
I,
Towns?
I think.
I mean, the actor's 30.
I think
They
it's
never
one of those
actually
things where
say.
like Game of Thrones, it takes place back in dinosaur times. Not that makes it okay. But we're talking about you know what I mean. But I think when
Yeah.
you're reading something like that, you're thinking like, well, everybody was dead by the 30 anyways. So and married by 13. I think we think about it differently.
I don't know, man.
I don't put
Stephen
any
King,
thought into
What
it.
about Stephen King novels?
I've never read
That's
any of the
weird.
ones where there's kid sex in them. So I don't know what anyone's
there's
talking about.
several, and it's just
Yeah.
like acceptable. Like
I don't know. I don't think there's several.
I think the
the
idea
only one is-
that
is it.
kids being sexual in novels is not something that's common is like just incorrect.
No, I'm not saying that at all. My dog got this new toy and it roosters.
It roosters. Thanks.
It distracted me. The roostering toy totally distracted me. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't think because because I think that it's not real because it's just a book. I don't think we put too much stock in it. I know you're saying, Ben. I guess I never really think about it because none of this is real. None of it's real.
I wonder if
I
there's
get
like
that.
there's certain visual stock that
It
you're
took place
you're
in the
getting,
60s. You know,
Yeah, and like
Right.
I understand that. It's just like I was really just backing Dana's point up with like there's weird moments with this young girl who's like going it alone with these
I didn't know
potentially
she was that young.
predatory guys.
I didn't know she was that young.
Yeah.
She was
The
definitely
college scene when she
yeah.
finally loses her virginity and she calls her mom, and her
she's
mom's like,
either 17 or 18 in that scene.
yeah, she's like, so you're telling me that you're partying with college kids? And she's like, yeah, pretty much. Her
by
mom
then
And
was
she
she's
was
like,
of
watch
age,
what you
wasn't she?
smoke. I love
yeah,
that.
she's
Yeah.
like,
response
why would
from
you
the mom.
watch what you smoke? I think at that point she's supposed to be 18 because she graduated high school.
Maybe 17 or
I don't know.
18. They don't tell us exactly when she was born.
Yeah.
They just tell us the year.
It's
and-
because
yeah.
she's constantly around older people. Like I
Yeah,
mean,
she's
her
really
first
smart though.
yeah, okay. Her first tournament, I mean, she's at a high school, but she's like 13. She is 13 at that first tournament because that's Anya Taylor-Joy. So
Hmm.
I think no, that was
No,
still the other.
no,
Yeah,
'cause
she's
the
a
first-
freshman in the first
Yeah.
tournament.
So
I don't know.
four-
I don't know. It's all weird.
cares?
Listen,
She's a
all we need to do is just make
I don't wanna
everybody
think too hard
18.
about it.
Just make
No.
everyone 18, okay? If they're going to be a main character, they are 18 years
I
old.
agree.
Just
This is
don't.
the thing.
Move on.
This
This
is
is
the
the
thing
thing
that
about
needs to.
This
It
is
bugs me
always
so
dangerous when we
much.
talk about this.
I know it's
Well, I don't
so
think any of
frustrating.
us are gonna like say
Okay,
something stupid,
The
but
actress, no, I know the actress is 20 something. Okay,
The
She's
actress-
25.
no, I just-
She's
my
my
age.
age.
She's
Oh, she's your age.
She's 4 days younger than me.
that's
oh really?
well,
Yeah.
You got a
so that's
shot.
creepy.
You got a
I got
shot.
a shot.
Why- How do you know her birthday? Do you send her a
Is this
card?
the, it's the first thing? It's the first thing that I
Internet, what do you
see
mean?
On the I am
I don't. If it's close to your birthday, like yeah, she
DB.
got the same birthday as me.
I had to think about it
I
this
got a
time.
chance.
I think if you
Internet
type in
movie
her name,
database.
Google will even tell you what her birthday is.
You know, sometimes they don't tell you what people's birthdays
O-
are.
only if
Those
they're
bastards.
Old. If
Yeah.
they're old, they hold on to that birthday. But if they're young, they're cool with it.
Yeah, but I
Well,
saw
if
that
they're,
she's got
if they're
almost the
young and
same
hot.
exact
They're probably
birthday.
just serving their own clients.
Young and hot. I don't care what my birthday is. Old and saggy. I'm young forever.
But I agree with Dana. And I think that there's a common thing in shows like this where for whatever reason they feel like they need to make the characters high school aged. Like, just make them college aged.
Super
Yeah,
easy.
I-
But there's
I
no
agree
there's no
with you.
storytelling reason.
Don't. Yeah, you're right. Don't make this hard on us. Just make them of age so we can just move on. You know.
Yeah.
Well, there
Yeah.
was that one. I mean, it did surf that one that I don't know how funny it was. I thought it was funny, where she's like, the mom's always like making these excuses for her high school daughter
that's
who's
right.
never
Oh,
in
yeah.
high school. There's that whole montage. I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, you could have kept her at the same age for the first 2 episodes. And I'm talking about like when she's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
start
yeah.
having romance. Like, just get her into
Yeah.
college. Like, don't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
She's
it's
like
19
boyfriends.
It's 1965 instead of 1963. There,
Yeah.
solved. Right?
Easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a
I feel
difficult.
like it was
thing.
weird.
Throw an extra year on there just in case, just like don't
I
worry
know
about
it's
it.
a weird thing, but okay. Look, so towards the end of the show, what's his name? Who's the American all-star guy, right?
Oh, Benny
Towns?
Watts?
He
Oh, Benny
likes
Watts.
her and she likes him, and she's like running her fingers through his hair, and then out of nowhere he's
Oh,
like
Benny, yeah.
making this
Mhm.
this proposition that I'll coach you and whatever, and he's like, oh, and about the sex, never gonna happen, and like basically just slams that door shut until like an episode later where he's like, oh yeah, about that sex, actually,
Mhm.
right?
Come on, bro.
Oh.
He's playing hard to get, bro.
That didn't make any sense to me. Why play hard to get? He's like, like in one episode he's like, never gonna happen. You think, well, why? Is he gay? Like, is there something going on with her and gay guys where she just can't seem to land it?
Well, and Benny Watts apparently had been with that supermodel. Like, this cowboy guy is slaying, though.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's that dagger that he's got or whatever.
He's like, never
it's
gonna,
those
he says
chess
never
groupies.
gonna happen. That makes no sense to me. And then there's no reason for him rejecting her, because in an episode later he's all down for it.
I do love her line, though, because you know that the only person she's had sex with is Beltic. And then when they finish having sex, and she's like, that's what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when she bangs.
funny.
And
Benny,
you're like,
yeah.
man, fuck you, Beltic.
Poor
Yikes.
Beltic.
Well, at least he got his teeth
Oh.
fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one thing that I definitely noticed about the character. Like, as soon as he sat down, I was like, oh my
And
God.
He even says it. I got my teeth fixed for you.
Well, no, like when he sits down
Yeah, he does.
to play that game of chess in the
Oh.
second
Yeah.
episode or
Well,
whatever
they
it is.
like they
the
highlight
chess.
Yeah.
that because it's like there's that whole sequence where
They
she's
put an
playing
electron
people.
microscope on his teeth so you can see
Yeah.
how fucked up they are.
They
Ugh.
like it's a whole sequence. There's the greasy hair guy. There's the teeth guy. Like
right.
there's the dude that like goes every time he play. It was so weird that like none of that seemed to like get under her skin enough for her to lose. So it was weird, but like it was just it made the whole tournament like maddeningly uncomfortable.
Well,
No.
she's
I think that's a
awkward,
point.
right?
Mhm.
She's
Yeah.
socially awkward. So being around all these socially awkward people means nothing to her. You know what I mean?
Mm.
No, that's
So-
true.
Yeah,
But I
that's
thought
okay.
they made
It's
it
all
seem
normal
like
for
she
them.
was annoyed with them for having these weird ticks.
Yeah, I don't
They,
know.
they kind of pointed him out, like they showed him up. I think they're just maybe trying to show that these were all chess nerds and she's above that. You know, because
She's
like you
above
said,
the
they
chess
they
nerds.
they went out of the way to show off these weird ticks and everything, and then she seemed to be totally unfazed by it. She seemed to notice them, but like, okay, whatever. And the first time I thought when they were showing that, I'm like, are they trying to show that these are these guys as tells? You know, like in
Right.
Mm.
poker or something. But no, it just kind of went nowhere. I think it was just to show that these guys were all awkward chess nerds.
I think it's a holdover from the books, honestly, or from the book. I bet
Oh,
in
you
the
know-
book she's like, and he keeps doing that fucking thing with his
Yeah.
teeth, and I can't stop thinking about how gross his teeth are. And then I played
Yeah,
Queen
probably is.
A5. you know
A
what I mean?
little tidbit for people who read the book. When did this
It-
book come out?
83?
I don't know. Is it
1983?
that old?
This is an old
Yeah,
book?
it's pretty old.
Oh,
Not that old.
2003.
Sorry, Dad.
Well,
1983.
if you think
83,
about it,
oh,
dude,
okay.
even 2003 is old.
Yeah.
2003 is old.
An
It's almost
actual
20 years
scroll.
ago. Oh,
So-
God.
So friggin' 1983 is a millennia ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the word.
1983.
A millennia. So,
I would also like to point out how beautifully shot this limited series was. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
That was pretty.
That is gorgeous.
The
the
opening
colorist
scene,
was a genius.
the opening scene, some crazy shit going on outside my apartment.
Who's that?
I
It's
don't-
not Jeremy this time. It's usually
No,
Jeremy
it's
in it.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
it's usually
it's
Mariachi
because
band or a trash can.
Mr. Alote or
Fucking Alcat or Alote Jr. Yeah.
Mr. Alote Jr.
yeah.
well, we just moved, and so my window now faces the parking lot. It doesn't face a courtyard, so there's a lot of
Oh.
like car
Parking
alarms
lot.
at 6 a.m. It's great. But no, it looks amazing. That opening shot when she wakes up late for the tournament in the first episode, and she's thrown up in the curtains and all that stuff. I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing.
Also,
Like,
you know,
yeah.
they did it right. They opened it right. They opened it with her.
They did.
You know,
And I
we
hate
talked
stuff
about
like
before,
this.
you
I
hate stuff like
hate-
this? I love
I-
it. They
I
make it great to
hate-
bring you into a
Mm.
story and then tell you how we got here. I know you hate that, Dana,
Mm-mm.
but I love it.
Hate
I think
it.
It's great.
I wish
Hate it.
they'd done a
do
record
that.
scratch and had her do a voiceover.
Probably wondering how I got here. Oh God! But it's like a freeze frame where she's like thrown over like a chessboard. and she's like this. No, I hate when they do that. Just tell the story normally. You don't have to do that. The worst part is like my the worst example is Mirror's Edge 3. What's the movie? Mission Impossible 3, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's terrible open. Do not show the climax
love
of
it.
the movie.
I love it.
Stop it. Don't open with the
But they
climax.
don't.
Get rid.
They
They do
don't. They show
though.
a piece
I
of it.
know.
A minute.
I know, but don't do that. I mean, they kind of do that
Oh,
also
so
in
good.
Iron Man, and it
I
kind of
don't
pisses
know
me
if
off a little
you
bit
can-
too.
I mean, that's how Breaking Bad opens.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I love-
That's
what I
how
loved
Breaking
about
Bad
Breaking Bad.
opens. It opens with his khakis flying through the air and the
Almost every episode
RV and some
opened with the ending, but piece of it, and told you how we got there.
I don't-
loved
Yeah.
it.
Don't like
Dana,
Breaking
Dana
Bad.
just doesn't like it.
I don't like
I
I
Breaking
mean,
Bad.
yeah,
There's
I think
nothing
it's
wrong.
okay to not like that narrative trick, but you can't. I don't think you can dismiss it as bad because it's very
Right.
common.
It's very effective. Yeah.
There are really shitty
Yeah.
ways to do it, though.
Yeah,
like the
that-
record
she
scratch,
was-
for example.
Now it took a minute to actually get back to that scene though.
Oh, it
It
took a
took
long
4
minute.
episodes,
Yeah.
right?
It took to way too many episodes. Yeah.
No,
By
it took
the
like
time
5
brought
episodes.
it
That's like
back to that
she's
point
in-
where she's
yeah.
about to play Borgachoff or whatever. whatever his name is.
Dude,
Boyardee or
She
whatever.
played Gorbachev. That would have been fucking.
Gorbachev really ended the Cold War.
I was like, wait, I was thinking to myself, like, is that scene that was at the beginning of the first? Like, it's too many episodes now. Literally 4 hours has gone by. I don't remember
Yeah.
the first.
I actually
scene
completely
anymore.
forgot that there was a cold open too. To be
See,
honest.
that's why, especially in a limited series or any kind of like TV show, don't do that. I mean, if it's Breaking Bad and you're like doing it in an episode, but if you're doing it like a whole
4
5
hours.
They
episodes
should've-
later,
the cold open should have been her with the 2 things of drugs. Just
yeah, okay, but that still would have been
That's
bad.
crazy when she takes 2 hand. I know that we're talking about an earlier episode now. She takes those 2 handfuls of pills as a little child.
Oh, and she's just
like,
inhaling them. Oh my god.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's painful.
This is a slight quibble, but I feel like they were inconsistent with the portrayal of her drug abuse.
I agree with
I
that.
felt like there was a lot of times where you're like, well, I guess we're supposed to assume she's taking daily pills because they kind of
Yeah.
imply that sort of, but not really. And then there's a part where she's really partying down in her
Yeah, it was
her
weird.
house.
The scene where she's
Mhm.
walking through Mexico, like getting a beer at each different stall.
Yeah, I do that
I knew
when
that
I'm in
she was-
Mexico.
Well, that's what I was
That's
saying. I was like,
alcohol,
I
that's
knew
just
that I was
partying, bro.
supposed to feel like that was a bad thing, but
That's just partying.
I was like,
Yeah.
that just looks like. I mean, if you're being responsible, that just looks like good fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks like when.
Okay,
What do you do in Vegas?
That's
You go
when.
from
Yeah,
Canada
that's
to
exactly
Canada?
what Ben and I look like when we went to Vegas a few years
Yeah.
ago. We
That's
did the exact
what
same
I think.
thing.
And you know what?
Yeah.
When I saw the Russian family looking at the kid or looking at the animals in the zoo, I didn't suddenly get all upset about how I'm bad at chess.
Hey, Gina's in the chat. Hey, Gina, how's it going?
Hi, Gina.
Hey, Gina.
How does Gina feel
Yeah, Gina, how do you
Bee
feel
Gees.
about the beat? Jeez.
about the Bee Gees? This is an important question.
I think Liz's no opinion might have been about the Bee Gees, not the Dragon Ball Z. I thought it was about the Dragon Ball Z. I think
No,
it's
her
about
no
the Bee Gees.
opinion was about how hot Anya Taylor-Joy is.
I don't think that's true. Liz?
Oh.
Wait, hold on. She has no. Wait, there's 3 things she could have possibly had no opinion on: the Bee Gees, hot Anya Taylor-Joy, and
Oh, it was the Bee Gees.
That's what I said. Okay, anyways.
she has no opinion on the Bee Gees.
Yes, it was about the Bee
Gina's
Gees.
got a
better
Yes,
one. Gina
see?
says that
Yeah.
she doesn't hate
It
them.
was about the Bee Gees. Gina does not hate the Bee Gees. Perfect. We can move on. Great. So
Ringing endorsement. I don't hate it.
I thought, and I know why they did this, but I thought the CG chess board on the ceiling was a little bit cheesy and
Dumb.
hokey
I don't
and,
think we need
and
it.
dumb.
I
Yeah.
don't need it.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was
I
dumb.
liked it.
They could have done like really like
I
tight
really
macro
hated it at
shots.
the end. That's when I hated it the most.
That's true.
When
Yeah, she should have been
everybody looked up,
done.
What the
when
fuck is she
she's
looking
just
at?
staring up there, and it's like, and then
Well,
Borgachev. I'm just gonna call him
Borgachev. That's his name now. Borgachev.
And he
he's
like
like-
stares up at the ceiling with her, like, "What's up there?" I thought that was,
He
so
was-
dumb. With
I
the
liked it.
music.
I liked.
Mhm.
I'm on Liz's side here.
Too
I
cheesy.
liked it.
I don't like it.
I thought it was cheesy, but there was something like 80s comedy about it. That was just like,
It reminded me of the end of Karate Kid 2 when Daniel LaRusso pulls out the hand drum
Bonk
and he starts, "Bah,
or honk.
bah." and then everyone pulls out their own hand
It's-
drums, and then there's the music.
Yeah, you want to talk about a movie trope.
Yeah.
It
It's like that.
didn't help. But I think when they do stuff like that, it's to bring in a wider audience because when you help visualize what she's
Oh.
seeing. Well, I think it would have been better if she was just a genius. They were trying to visually show how she was a genius.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what Liz is
Visualizing.
saying. Yeah, Liz just
they're
said
trying
it's
to
to
show
give
that-
us imagery. See
Yeah.
that it's in her head, and I get that, but it's just like
exactly.
I
Where
can
you
do
can
with
say that in a book and then
Not like she was hallucinating.
Yeah. Well, I liked it, and I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it throughout the whole show. Like early on, when she's just visualizing the board and she doesn't even know what the pieces really look like yet, and then you see how she she tears the hole in her bed. Like, I was actually okay with that. It's just the ending where I thought this is too long. It's like we're focusing too much on this.
well, there's
Build up
there's
the drama, bro.
There's a certain entertainment too from like no, because I started getting into chess before I watched the show. Even though a lot of people watched the show and then got into chess.
Yeah,
And
like a lot of
like,
people.
there's a crippling there's like a cripplingly small amount of actual chess detail in the show, which makes sense. There's not
Which
a
I
lot of
like.
people-
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't need it. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of people that like would get off on that, but when the board was up there and I could look at the board states, that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. Like, oh, this is fun. Like, there was a little bit
Yes.
of that for me.
I see your realism, your attention to the chess detail.
Hey man, chess is a fun game. I highly recommend that everybody
don't like
ride this
chess.
wave and start playing chess. Chess.com, just do it. It's
It's
fun.
what's fun about this current trend of everybody playing chess because this movie is that everybody's gonna realize how much they hate fucking chess.
Chess
And then
is
it's only for
great.
nerds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No,
Well, just because you're bad at it, Dad, doesn't mean
Well, hold on, no. It's a great game. It's a great game, but
it's been around for
because of
thousands of years.
the amount of you can't just it's you I guess you can do whatever the fuck you want, but it's very hard to play it superficially, which is what a lot of people are going to do and realize, oh wait, this is more than just something you can just pull off in an afternoon.
Yeah.
It's,
Like
the game
any
is,
like,
like
any
my
competitive
marbles,
game.
man.
It's
It
you're
ain't-
right.
it ain't
It's
marbles.
not
Chinese
Uno.
stickers.
it ain't, exactly. It's not Uno. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. Is a lot of people are going to think it's Uno. They're going to play it and realize this ain't fucking Uno. This is Phase 10.
Wow.
Bring it
Hot
all the way back
chef.
around.
Hot take.
Is the Phase 10 of the card games.
No, I'd say like Magic the Gathering is the fucking
Actually,
Phase
I
10.
I liked when she's-
They already have a competitive
That is
card
the
games.
dumbest- I'm sorry, Magic the Gathering lovers. That is the dumbest name.
Well, look. Here's the
Wait,
thing.
no. It's Magic, colon,
She's called Magic.
the Gathering.
Gathering.
Yeah.
The cool kids call it MTG. Actually,
Do they? The
I've
cool
never
kids.
called it that.
cool. Yeah. No, I mean, you're not. Listen, Daryl, you're not wrong that board games, especially competitive board games, don't appeal to a wide audience of people that just think they're getting into Uno.
Yeah.
However, if you want to get competitive at something, I don't think chess is the worst thing that you could choose.
Absolutely not. No, chess is a great game. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But it's not a fly-by-night game. It's not an Uno.
No.
No, you
It's
need to
not at
learn
all.
how to play, and you're
It's
gonna
more
get
than
your
just
ass
learning-
stomped.
Exactly. Again and again and again and again. I just
But-
watched Gladiator. Oh my god, I love it.
Look at me, man. I'm rank 800 now, so you know.
Wow.
Chess.com.
That's pretty
I-
good.
I actually, I fell almost immediately to 400 in the first day, and over the last month, I've climbed up to 800. So
We've got our
I guess
own
I'm doing something right.
got our
I
own
guess if-
Ben Harmon here.
Maybe it is the Uno of chess.
Yeah,
games.
I only have 1,600 more to go before.
If
I'm a
you can go from
grandmaster.
4 to 8 in,
Perfect.
an hour. 408 hours.
Pretty good. Pretty good, I think.
Chess
do you
is a
rate?
hard game, man. I mean, it really is.
When she is like talking about strategies
is, yeah.
and they say the Sicilian, I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, okay, I've heard of the Sicilian.
Isn't that a
You know,
cheese?
watching it, they
You
make
know
it
the-
sound sexy. That's the
They
that's the
do.
beauty of the show is they make chess.
It's a
sound
pizza at
sexy.
Round Table.
Oh, that's it.
Oh my
That's
god.
my frozen pizza, the CPK. I get the Sicilian all the
Whoa.
time.
I'm saying, when I got a Round Table, I pay with chess pieces when I get.
well,
this
you know,
thing.
Yeah,
my
they're
favorite
like, what?
opening in chess is actually the California roll.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
the
Mine's-
California roll defense.
There's all these like
Mine's the Meat Lovers
terminology
Open.
They make it sound so sexy in the show that I'm like,
They
yeah,
do.
Sicilian, awesome, or reverse
Yeah.
Sicilian.
And it's
Yeah.
weird.
Reverse
because it almost
Sicilian.
feels- It almost feels like you're an insider in chess too, because they even make Benny Watts, who, from any perspective other than the show's perspective, would be the biggest fucking loser on the planet.
Oh my
Walks
god.
around
Benny in
with
the
a
box.
holster for his
He's a
knife
larper.
and a fucking duster and a cowboy hat.
That guy's badass.
Yeah,
and
that,
for
that
whatever
dude,
reason, he's
a
so cool in the
cosplayer.
show.
It's really
Listen,
cool.
Well, it's perspective, right? For chess players, it's cool. For outside in the regular world, he would get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
That's
Guy
why he's
with
got
a
the knife.
duster and I love the knife. What do you got the knife for? Because you got knives and knives are needed. You know, whatever the hell he said.
He says
in
for
case of what?
protection. That was another little red
Yeah,
herring. I thought, are you gonna suggest that there's something going on with him?
I thought he was gonna stab her.
He's like
Really?
for
No.
protection, and she's like protection from what, and he's like from whatever. And
Name
you
it.
think,
It
well,
would have
this
been good
has-
if she'd done the Rambo thing.
He's
Right,
just,
right, yeah.
He's
Name it.
just a weirdo. I mean,
He's
I
a
think
weirdo,
that's really what they're
but he's
trying
got
to
really
say.
badass friends though. His friends are all like
Mhm.
grandmaster chess players and the sexy.
Is that really badass?
Well, they make it seem badass in the show. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's the important
Chess
part.
is
They
so
do make it seem because you're
so
on
sexy in the
you're,
show.
You're in the crowd. They do a really good job of painting that perspective. And if you think
Yeah,
about
and
it,
when
you're like,
he's like, "Hey, you want to go like play speed chess at the cafe later?" You're
Yeah.
like, "This guy's so cool."
It's like this. It's like this. So I used to juggle. Used to be pretty good. And when you would go to the Renaissance Fair and go to the juggling tent, you were a fucking rock star. Anything
Yeah.
outside of then, you were not a rock star.
yeah, it's true.
I'm telling you. So
And
this
it's
is
just like Anime
chess.
Expo, man. When you're cosplaying in Anime Expo, you're so cool. Everybody's
exactly right.
taking pictures with you. Everybody's talking to you.
Right?
The second you leave Anime Expo to get food from the food
You're a
trucks, you
twerp.
got families
You're a
that
total
are
twerp.
looking at you like you're scary.
You're a twerp.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
look like Winter on the street corner of LA in his Mega Man outfit.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly.
I have that picture on here somewhere.
Listen, I mean,
Uh,
but that's the magic of this show, man. It really makes you feel like a chess guru, and then you're like, oh, that's the
make you
cool
feel like
chess
chess
guy.
is
It-
really cool, and it's
it did.
really
It
cool
made
to
the world
know.
seem cool, even
Yeah.
even though they're showing all these nerds and stuff. It did make it seem cool. But I'm sure it's way in the real world. It's way drier. And I think everyone is extremely awkward and
Actually,
know.
funny enough,
probably no rock stars. no
funny enough,
talented-
chess has recently had a before the Queen's Gambit came out, chess had a really interesting like divergence with gamers and Twitch streamers,
Oh yeah.
and so chess actually became
there.
uh
There's a picture of Winter. Oh man,
as
it's not gonna
Mega
show
Man.
up on.
uh
Standing on the street corner of LA as
he
Mega
looks
Man.
like Mega Man though.
All I can see is my egg reflected in your phone.
Damn, dude, like a
Eggman.
spotlight.
Well, I'm not Mega Man, but I do see Eggman.
Looked like Winter's face was about to hatch.
So all I was gonna say was that Twitch streamers have kind of gotten their hands on chess, and it's actually had
Their hands. It
interesting-
sounds so nefarious.
Twitch
It's
streamers
gotten
really got the hands on.
chess,
the
chess has become internet
Twitch
cool.
streamer spinning his mustache evilly. Look what I've got my
Ah,
hands
yes,
on.
yes. Got my hands on you, chess boys. No,
Sicilian defense.
chess has gone from being a
Well,
really
I eat my
dry-
Sicilian pizza.
Chess has gone from being a really dry intellectual thing to being like a cool gamer thing.
Oh, I'll
as
go
a
back to
result of
dry
this.
intellectual.
I mean, everything has
Oh,
phases,
yeah.
and
Everything
chess has
has
been
its
around
phases,
for
yeah.
thousands of years, so it's not going
Yeah.
anywhere. What?
Well, no, it's not. It's interesting that a
Anywhere.
solved game is still a game that gets played so often. That's the thing that really blows my mind.
Yeah, well, I'll be happy when 3D chess gets its day.
That's
Dark-
in a
Mm,
couple
Dark
hundred
Knight
years.
chess.
Mhm.
That's
The-
something.
And it'll be the Captain Kirk's Gambit.
Captain Kirk's Gambit.
Yeah. Speaking of Captain Kirk, is there anything we want to touch on more in this show?
Mm-mm.
Is there anything you
I'm
guys
good.
want
I'm
to touch
ready to
on?
rate it.
Yeah.
Move on with my
Well,
life.
just
Yeah, we
the
can
one.
rate it.
There was only one scene that I wanted to talk about a little
Yeah.
bit, which was like with how limited Scheibel's screen time was. That was the most impactful scene in the entire series for me. Was when they go to the funeral and nobody's there, and like nobody
Yeah,
even
that
knew
was-
the guy.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then she goes into the basement of the orphanage and she sees
yeah.
the wall of all of her accomplishments.
Mm.
And like, of course, Scheibel's like, oh my God, it was so soul crushing to like realize that this dude that was so proud of Beth Harmon had like passed away and you never heard from him again. Like
She
they
never paid him back.
Reconnect. Yeah. She didn't even pay him back. That's right.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Wow,
that
didn't
was a
think
very
about
powerful
that.
scene. And she has like a fucking breakdown in the car.
She gets into the car and then her orphan friend
Just
is like,
breakdowns.
"Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Did you bite off more than you could
You
chew?"
could shoot. That was a great scene. That was a great
Oh.
line. That was a great line, yeah.
God, dude, I wanted to cry. Like I was crying just as hard as Beth Harmon was in that scene. I haven't been impacted like that in a little while. So
Gross.
that was a
Gross. Gross.
yeah, I'm sorry for having feelings.
I talked about the impacted part.
I was just talking about my colon, man.
Isn't that where you can't shit, I think?
I think so. Yeah. You impacted colon.
But, yeah,
Sorry
but
about that, Ben.
Never had that problem.
What a thing. But I just wanted to make sure we talked about that scene because it was
You're
by
right.
far the
that-
best scene of the,
yeah.
of the show.
I'm making light of it because it was so emotionally moving. But yeah, it was great. Again, testament to the amazing acting that the damn show had. So
Mhm.
Mm. Mm. So, I guess we're ready for some ratings, right?
So we're rating.
Some more ratings.
I give Jeremy's hair a 7.
That's
Nice.
wow.
Do you
Wow.
recommend his hair to your
didn't-
friends?
Different every set. I'm really jealous of his hair because it's always different every time I see it. Not a problem I have. Oh, so
does its
speaking of
own
which, a
thing.
friend of mine, I talked to him yesterday. Fake Uncle Dave Danon.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey man, can I call you back in 40 minutes? I'm heading in to get a haircut right now. Something you'll never know about."
What an asshole.
And I go, "I love you, man. Call me in 40 minutes." Because he has hair like Jeremy, except it's like a half an inch above his eyebrows.
It's yeah.
He's got-
Oh,
He's got a strong
Got a
hairline.
2-head, huh?
got zero.
He's got a
Yeah.
2-head.
What's this called? Forehead.
What's that called?
What's this thing?
What is this thing?
Oh my god.
I'll go first. I'm giving it a 7.
Okay.
You know, after all my shit talking about what I didn't like about it, I really liked it. Actually, I thought it was a really good show, and I recommend it to anyone should watch it. So
That's pretty good.
with their eyes.
Ben?
I'll give it a 9.
Strong or
Yeah,
light?
Yeah.
A light 9, strong
Light
9.
nine? Cool.
Light, like a strong 8, light 9. No,
You can have a light 9 if you're giving it a strong 8.
Yeah, it's
See,
either
I think
8.5
yeah.
or 9.
I think he can do whatever he wants, Danny.
Okay.
It's more on the 9 side. But no, my reasoning is very it's very uncommon that we come across shows that I would strongly recommend to everybody to watch. And this is one of those shows where I think everybody should watch it. I would be happy to rewatch it. And for it to be that good, it must be at least a 9. I don't think it's perfect, but I think everybody could enjoy this. And I'll enjoy it again.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'll do it right now. Don't hold me back.
Yeah, very rewatchable for sure.
Right now, all 9 episodes.
Whole 9 episodes, yeah.
I gave away my rating a little early.
Yeah.
For
All right, Jared, what do you think?
I'm gonna go between you guys. I'm gonna go with an 8. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It is very rewatchable. I went into this show thinking just kicking and screaming, actually. Like that whole when I tell you that I hated the first episode, I really hated the first episode. Not because it was particularly bad, but I was just like, I don't want 7 episodes of this.
Oh yeah.
I don't want 7 episodes of this. And I watched the whole first episode and I was like, man, it was okay, but I really, I don't want it to be like this. If it's going to be like this, it's going to be a chore for me to watch it. And what it did is it pissed me off because I ended up
Nice.
that 3rd episode in, something bad happens to her and I'm mad and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like, man, why'd that have to happen? And I started thinking like, oh shit, I care.
Oh, they gotcha.
I can't believe I care. In the first episode, I was like, oh, this is going to be a chore to watch this. I'm not going to like it. I hope blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of lulled me into liking it before I even realized that I liked it. And that was pretty clever. Pissed me off, but it was pretty clever that it
And you
was
have been
able to
Damn showrunners.
lull me into liking a show that I actually went into kicking and screaming, not liking, thinking I'm not going to like this show.
Imagine
And
Jeremy on the ground getting drugged.
It's
You're
like,
gonna watch it.
It gave me these Downton Abbey vibes. I was like, no. But I ended up really enjoying it, to my own surprise. And it is rewatchable. So yeah, solid 8, heavy 8.
Mm.
A heavy 8. Oh.
Oof.
Heavy eight.
A fat bottom date. I give it an 8 too. I put this show on because I was like, okay, cool, limited series. I can kind of just knock this one out. I like limited series. I will go into any limited series because they get wrapped up real nice. Manhunt the Unabomber is a great example. It's got Paul Bettany opposite of Sam Worthington, and it's like 7 episodes, 8 episodes.
That's a great one.
It's great, yeah, because it's 8 episodes and you're done. That's it, no more.
Yeah. And we've never
so-
seen nothing about it again, so it was great.
Yeah. Actually, there's a new series that came out about Richard Jewell, Manhunt.
I'm watching it. Oh, you're right. That is Manhunt, isn't it?
Mhm.
I'm actually watching that one right now. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that soon. But yeah, so I sat down to watch this because it was just a limited series. I just wanted something to watch. I wasn't really expecting much of it, but I was like, okay, I like Anya Taylor-Joy, so
I like queens. I like gambits.
Yep, there you go. So I,
Also
just
an
kind of
OG.
like threw it on. First episode did not grab me. I really did not like the girl
I
that
think
they
that
got
happened
to
to all of us.
play.
Sounds like.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I like, yeah, but I liked. Oh man, I can't remember his name. Dennis Box. He was Dennis Box in The Night of the Mr. Scheibel.
Mm.
I like that actor, and so I was like, okay, it's cool to see him in this. And then it just kind of like ended, and I was like, well, I still have crackers and cheese left, so I'll start the next episode. And then yeah, that's when it really started to take hold. It was like the second episode when it really starts going. Yeah, but yeah, I'd give it I'd definitely give it an 8 as well. So it really hits all the right points it needs to hit. I think it gets out of there as soon as it needs to get out of there. It doesn't feel like it's overstayed. It doesn't feel like it's too long. I know, Dad, you have good points there, but like I liked all the characters that they went into and the story points that they went into, and I think
Yeah.
they needed about 7 episodes to do that. So I think it was like the perfect length. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
my review.
It was a great anime.
It's a great anime. Back to that really quick. Like I wasn't watching and going like, oh my god, get on with this. It was like I realized kind of after how unnecessary all that was
Mm.
compared to these other two characters that I found way more compelling, were more compelling, and they gave us none of.
Right.
That's what it was. It wasn't during it per se. Because I was like, well, where are they going with this kind of thing? You're kind of in the story, kind of going with it. It wasn't until after when I realized what a waste it was to not have these two very compelling characters and all these very uncompelling characters in it. I like
Yeah.
the Brody Singer kid. I thought that was all pretty good because he's fun to watch too. You know
Yeah,
what I
he's a
mean?
good actor.
He's a good actor and he's fun to watch too. His character was kooky with his knife and his whole thing, and that was interesting to watch. And this potential budding romance happening with them was kind of cool and all, But anyway,
Yeah.
so it was something I realized afterwards that bothered me about this show, not during it. So
Yeah. If you want a good example of how not to do a very similar story, watch Pawn Sacrifice with Tobey Maguire. Not the best
Hey,
movie,
we were watching. Yeah.
but Tobey Maguire gives a great performance because he is a brilliant actor and he's good in everything that he does, pretty much. But yeah, that movie suffers from some huge pacing errors. Huge pacing
Yeah,
errors.
that movie's
it called?
boring.
Pawn Sacrifice.
he's all, yeah, that movie's boring.
It's pretty
It
boring.
sounds terrible. That's a terrible
I-
name for a movie.
When
Yeah.
I was in Austin for 2 days last week or whatever it was it 2 weeks? I don't know. I don't know when it was. I don't know what time.
Yeah,
it
week and a
exists.
half ago. I don't know.
We were talking about that, and I saw that movie, and I was the only one in the theater. And I actually laid down. I took all
Nice.
the other seats.
Tell me that.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that. I laid down. I saw it with my parents, and they were watching it and they were liking it. I was like, "This is so boring." I found 2 more seats. I laid them down. I laid down, stared at the ceiling, and listened to the movie. That's how boring it was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Tobey
it's not.
Maguire is
It's not great.
awesome. I love Toby.
Were you wearing a wig from Goodwill?
No.
All
I
right.
still need to get into the wig club, unfortunately.
You don't have to.
I've told the story about how Dirk watched my brother watched Independence Day with a wig on.
No. What?
I told you that story. Yeah.
I don't remember this.
So me and Dirk are hanging out. We went and saw Independence Day.
Wait, hold on. Derek. So Derek is my uncle, your younger
Yeah.
brother.
My younger brother.
Yeah.
And we're hanging out, and we'd been to Goodwill. We used to like go to Goodwills all the time. Go Goodwill shopping back when it was cool. You could
Still
find
is cool.
crazy ass clothes and stuff like that. It was before everyone realized it was cool and ruined everything, and shops opened up. But anyways, so he found this wig, and it was two-tone, I guess you could call it. It was really dark brown and had loose blonde streaks on it. And whoever had previously owned the wig had put a small ponytail on back. So of course he purchases this wig and takes it straight and puts it on his head and wore it everywhere. It looked like a wig. It didn't like kind of look like a bad haircut. It looked like a very bad wig. And so he would walk around with total confidence though with this wig on. And so I remember we're waiting in line to see Independence Day, just hanging out, smoking. He smoked at the time. He just got the army. Hanging out, smoking. And all these people I could see him like looking at him like, what the fuck? This little ponytail in the back. It was fucking great. And he totally acting like it was normal to wear this wig everywhere he went. And he wore it everywhere. I'm not shitting you. And then we're in the movie and he was pissed off at Independence Day. He fucking hated it. and so he laid over and went and took a nap during Independence Day.
Oh.
But he hated it. He's like, "Fuck this movie. I'm going to."
How do you hate Independence Day?
I don't know. I had a good time. It's not great, but it's a fun watch.
It's a
With
fun
aliens
watch.
and blowing shit up and
Yeah.
The president of the United States blows up an alien jet.
okay, it's pretty hokey.
Yeah, welcome to Earth.
Come on.
They
since
fixed
redubbed
that.
it.
Dude, they have removed everything about that.
They
moment
have
from
scrubbed.
Earth.
They haven't
The
scrubbed our
internet has been
minds though.
scrubbed clean.
Yeah, they haven't
the
scrubbed
earth.
their minds.
Mhm.
Power of Will Smith, which is
Mhm.
funny because I remember it specifically from the commercial for that movie.
It
When it was in the commercial, "Welcome to Earth," pow, and he punches the alien, and I'm like, "Earth, interesting."
Not
Different
even
planet, or
wrong with saying it like that. It's just notable. That's it.
It's yeah.
it's not how you say Earth. So.
Oh my god. It's
Okay,
Um,
so
no, it's
anyways,
good stuff.
amazing.
all right. Well, that's our review on the Queen's Gambit and our one of my dad's many stories about his shenanigans. So
Shenanigan-filled life.
you have. So do we have suggestions for next week?
Oh.
Because I have two.
Well, it sounds like you have the suggestions.
Well, does anybody else have
Yeah.
any?
No.
This is all I do. This is all I do is I think of stuff to talk about for this podcast. So I've got
Is that
suggestions
why the album's not finished?
up the wazoo. That's exactly why. Yeah, I don't have enough time. I've got
Thinking really
lists.
hard.
Well, hold on.
Lists everywhere.
What does Liz think of the Bee Gees?
I
She
don't know
said
the
she
Bee
has no
Gees.
opinion.
All right, she doesn't like it.
She,
Okay.
yeah, she doesn't. She has no
Oh, then maybe she
opinion
had a
about the
movie
Bee Gees.
suggestion.
Yeah, I would like to get if anybody in the chat has actually seen the Queen's Gambit. Please give us your review in the chat, and I'll read it out really quick. I'm interested to see what you guys think. I mean, that's why we're doing this live. So I have two suggestions. So if we want to do another series, it's not super quick. Fargo season 3 is prime TV, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
TV, but it is 10 episodes. So I don't know if you guys want to knock that out in 10 episodes. My other
Actually,
suggestion.
I watched the original movie when we talked about this last week. It piqued my interest.
Hmm.
I've
And
seen the movie. I haven't seen any of the show.
yeah, I thought the movie was so good that I actually would be willing to watch the show.
I love the movie. I just because we were talking about it. I just
Yeah.
rewatched the movie again too, and
Movie's
it's still
good.
fucking great.
Mhm.
It's a phenomenal movie. I couldn't believe
really
how good it
is.
was.
So
Yeah.
good.
So, well, if we cover season 3, is it one of those? Is
It's
it
an anthology.
so
It's an
Oh,
anthology
okay.
series.
start on
Yeah.
season three,
Yeah,
it won't
and it's
hurt.
the
So-
best one. Because each season's different. It's definitely the best one.
Yeah, that's
Definitely
when
the best.
I showed it to my dad a few years ago, and that's how I brought him in. I was like, okay, we're gonna watch season 3 because in my opinion it was the best one. And then we went back and watched season 1 because it does a lot of setup that you want to get covered in season 2. So season 3
okay.
takes place in, I think it's current day, and then season 1 takes place like in 1990s, and then season 2 takes place in the 1970s.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of like all over the place. But yeah,
Alright.
season 3 of
Well,
Fargo.
anyway,
If you guys want to do it, knock it
Yeah,
out.
I'd be
Yeah,
down.
because I need to watch it again too.
And,
So
it's,
this is
and
good
it's like the
excuse for me.
movie, but not like the movie. Does that make
It's
any
it's interesting. They take these smallest, tiniest things about the movie and cut it up and put it in all over all the seasons.
Is there a
It's
scene
fascinating.
with the awkward guy that's down on his luck and trying to pretend like he's got his life together when he's hitting on the pregnant wife?
It's fucking great.
That's basically one of the characters in season
you look
1.
Great.
Yeah.
So
You're looking great.
Cool.
Oh yeah. You know what though?
Oh yeah. I
She
love their
does.
accents.
Talk to him. She does get gussied up to go see him. It's a kooky part of the movie. It's a kooky part of the movie because you're like, why is she even doing this?
Well, she was just going to see her. Yeah,
Love you, Norm.
you know, It's a
she's like
thing-
this with her hair and she's getting
it's-
ready to go.
it's a thing that happens.
And she's pregnant.
It's a thing that happens. It must have happened in real life because it has no reason to be in that movie at all.
What you mean happened in real life?
Well, because Fargo is based on a real story.
no, it's not.
It says in the beginning.
It's not
That's
real.
man.
Yeah.
That's not real.
You know, a funny
Just
aside
straight up
about that.
lies about that in the beginning.
It's a giant lie. They
Yeah,
lied to you, bro.
huge lie. Sorry, Ben.
You know what's also not real. The fourth kind.
What? Okay, wait. There's an interesting thing about that.
Sorry.
There's a
Really?
documentary.
That's so weird.
Yeah, there's a documentary where this Japanese woman believed that that was a true story, so she went looking for the $1 million that they buried in the middle of the road and died.
Oh.
She died looking for this.
What? Well,
This is a
well,
real.
that's
That is a
terrible.
real story.
That's
Yeah,
What-
depressing, almost.
What if you
It's kind of funny.
also thought that and went?
It's kinda
looking for the
ridiculous.
$1 million?
I mean,
I wouldn't
I
have gone looking for the $1 million, but also
just would have gone
what
to
a
Fargo.
bummer.
And it was
It's
missing
yeah.
80 grand. It wasn't a full million.
Oh, was it? I don't know.
It
It's enough to
started-
start
it
a
was-
supermarket.
It was a full million, I thought.
Well, it is a million, and he takes out 80, right?
Yeah, and
'Cause
puts,
that's what they were originally did the job for.
Oh yeah,
Right.
so it's
Mm.
actually
Those are
$920,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a millionaire. But so anyway, so yeah, if you guys want to do Fargo season 3, we can do that for next Tuesday because that would be fantastic.
Okay.
That's a
Lots
lot
of-
Is that the
I'm
lot
really
to ask for the
disappointed that
next
Fargo
Tuesday?
is not a real story.
I'm sorry,
know, right?
Ben.
What the hell?
And
It's
they're
10
all, like,
episodes.
An hour each.
About this is a little bit older TV, so I think they're about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. Liz
Okay.
just saw it. Liz, are they like an hour?
I think I could do it. I mean, now if I say yes, I have to do it.
Mhm.
It's worth it.
I can do
it's
it.
good. It's really good.
I'll commit.
So it's definitely one of those shows where they cliffhanger you like every episode. So you're like, all right, well, I got to watch another one. That's all we did for like 2 weeks, Dad. Like we just watched
Well, that's
we just
before you
watched
moved,
Fargo.
right?
Yeah, that was
Well,
like
that's
right
before you
before I
moved.
moved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
watched
just
it
watched
every-
Fargo every night, like
Well,
2 or 3
I-
episodes.
That episode or that season was so fucking good. I was in,
Yeah.
man. And what's that actor's name? The English guy with the bad
David
teeth?
Thewlis.
Oh, he's so fucking good in it.
David
Oh,
Thewlis is
Thewlis?
fantastic as VM Varga in this.
Yeah. so
Ewan
good.
McGregor is perfect as himself and his twin.
Yes.
It's got Marie Elizabeth Winstead in it. It's
Wait,
it's
does anybody
such.
have a ridiculous accent though? 'Cause
Oh
that's what-
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one of the main
yeah,
characters'
yeah.
names is Nikki
If
Swangle.
it's Fargo, you gotta have the accent.
Yeah,
Dude, it's so, that accent is
Gary
amazing.
Lundegaard.
it's great. Yeah,
Oh, Harry Lundegaard. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Jeez, it's just.
Oh, jeez.
that's all the show is. It's so good. It's so good.
Hey, hon.
It's-
Yeah. Hey,
I'm
hey,
down.
hon.
Hey,
I'm down for
hon.
it.
So
No, I'll make you
Do
some
that.
eggs. I'll make. No, stay in bed. No, I'll make you some eggs.
Make some eggs.
okay, cool. So season 3 of Fargo for next Tuesday. We'll go ahead and knock that out. I've been wanting, I've been needing a reason to watch that show again. So I'm glad we can do it for the podcast because I've been wanting to do that for a while. So cool. So I just wanted to touch really quick. Liz says that she gives The Queen's Gambit an 8.5. She says she didn't have a problem with the first episode, but did have a problem with the way she was portrayed during the rock bottom and time period. But besides that, great overall. Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
What does that mean?
The rock bottom part, I'm assuming after she loses the first time and goes back home and has that bender where she's laying in pizza boxes in her underwear.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like where you are right now
I was gonna say,
He's got a shirt on.
The fucking weekend for me.
for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to wear pants.
Especially not if you're gonna, spiral out of control into a drug-addled,
Yeah, speaking of which, we're kind of cutting into my drug spiraling time right
Oh,
now.
damn,
So,
okay.
yeah, I'm about to go swim in a bathtub of beer. So, cool. So, Fargo season 3.
Fargo season 3.
Yeah, next week we'll do that 7:30 like we always do. I don't even
I didn't even
done-
remember.
I haven't been able to talk all day. It's been terrible. So yeah, this is the We Like This podcast. You can find us on Instagram and you can join our Discord. Discord is going to be in the description and you can keep up with all the updates and all that stuff there too. So cool.
Did you
All right.
just hold
I
your
just
shirt
stretched
open?
and my tits popped open my shirt. You guys see that?
I
Told you you
saw
could have-
that. I
could have
thought you
hits
did it
in
on
NBA,
purpose.
man.
It's like
No, I
a
didn't. I was just stretching and there we go.
weird flex, but okay.
And on that note,